What's up, guys? So we're here at the closing meeting for the Cebu Summit, and it's funny because I was on the way here, right? I was calling somebody, right, and I was telling them about the Philippines, right, and I was and I was kind of like I left the phone on speaker, right, and then I was telling these stories, about girls and stuff, and then I didn't really realize it, and then when I got done. I looked behind me, and there was like a white couple behind me, and they were so pissed. They were so pissed. Oh, they were so pissed. The woman was flaming.
Of course the woman was pissed.
Well, they're because she wasn't very young, she was like 30 or something, right? So she was looking flaming, like, God damn it. And their boyfriend was right there.
They hate it when we're succeeding. They hate it when they see a man succeed in Southeast Asia, man. It just kills them.
Yeah, and just having fun. Like they hate when we're having fun.
Oh, they fucking hate it, man. Tears them up.
And also too, I could tell she was with her boyfriend, right? And he looked terrified because he knew that she was going to be on the rampage now all day about this topic, right? And he had to deal with it, and then he was probably thinking. Fuck, because it sounds so fun, right?
Yeah.
Because the way I was telling the story, it sounded really. And my friend was like, "Oh man!" And then.
He's a sad sack that brought his old.
That's when you have to say the word Trump. Also, say the word Trump. Absolutely have a hemorrhage.
What?
That's why we voted for Trump, and we voted for Trump so that we could bang all these young, hot girls who are just totally in love with us. We have to import them. We vote for Trump for this thing. He's bringing back hot girls.
Make America hot again. Yeah. Maho. Maha. All right, so I want to just pass around here, closing meeting. So any thoughts you have and stories and things you could think we could do better and things you didn't share in the beginning or whatever, personal. So who's going to start here?
Oh, I can. Okay. Yo, what's up? It's Fox. What does the fox say? I don't know.
And the fox. And during the fucking the big moon the other day.
Oh, I always howl at moons. That's something I'll do all the time, especially if I'm with a girl. I'll just be like, and there's a full moon.
Howling.
I'll just go, ow! I'll do it in public. Like nobody expects that. They're just like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh, am I looking hairier? I feel like I'm hairier.
It's funny because when you howl at the moon as a guy, and especially your friend starts joining in, it seems very natural.
Yeah.
It does.
It
does if you do it.
So natural.
It's just very natural.
It is natural.
Like I think before we
Instinctual.
were able to speak, we had to make noises, right? So I bet we did howl. I bet humans did howl.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It would make sense to imitate nature and the beast. I mean, if you look into it, there's wolf, wolfmen. Good men who would dress and act like wolves. They go way, way back. The wolf hiding from the ancient Norse saga is something that goes way back. It's like an old thing where guys are basically. Which I love this thing. This is a different topic, but
We should all howl at the moon at one summit.
Yeah.
At night, we should go outside.
Yeah, we should rip off our clothes,
Fucking hell at
get
the
some
moon.
get some wolf pelts
Rampage
on.
Jackson used to do it before his fights.
Yeah.
Who did?
Rampage Jackson. Quinton Rampage Jackson. He's an MMA
Okay.
fighter.
All right.
An African American guy.
He would howl.
Oh, yeah. He was funny. He's funny as fuck.
It feels so natural to me. I don't know why.
How come?
Especially when your friends howl and then you howl with them. We used to do that when we were drunk in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and we'd be laughing our asses off.
So funny thing. So when we were in Shimoda, Shirahama Beach, for the Japan summit, which was fucking amazing. Cannot wait for the next one. We were up on the perch, I call it the wolf's perch or the eagle's nest up there, and it was a full moon that night, one of the nights, I'm pretty sure. And I would be up there and I would howl at people, as the girls and sometimes with the guys would be walking by. I would howl at them when they were walking by us. How people could be coming along that street, going to 7-Eleven, and they can't really see us, but they can kind of tell someone's up there. And I would just go, ow! And just they'd be like, what the fuck? And they would look up there, and the girls thought it was hilarious, because just and it's also kind of a cool way of it's a cool way of letting them know that you're a wolf. You know what I'm saying? It's a very subtle, playful way of letting them know you're someone that they're gonna have fun with. But they also a little bit dangerous.
Also, too, I've never heard girls howl.
No.
You know what I mean? I always hear guys howl. Never heard girls howl. Never, not in my life. You know, it doesn't seem like it's their thing, you know. But for guys, you know, it's just like, whoo! Whenever he starts fucking howling. Like,
Yeah, it's hilarious. So, where do I start?
you've been learning a lot, actually.
I have been learning a lot, so I really want to kind of let it just flow through. I think the first update I want to give is where I'm at in my life is, you know, probably going back to like the Japan summit of maybe even the Bangkok summit of 2023. Like that year, I told my stories about my family like splitting apart in 2020. Basically, my parents disowned me and like two of my siblings, and the whole family just split. Like no contact, no communication really for years and years. It's been like, I guess like 5 years now, and then something that the reason why I'm sharing this is because the update's very cool. But Ronin was telling me, you know, a couple months ago, he's like, you know, I just want to put something out there, like just hear it, you know, just think about it, just, you know, kind of consider it like as a possibility, but don't be surprised if sometime down the road, maybe even after your parents, you know, pass away, that your siblings may reach out to you and reconnect and want to kind of rebuild that connection. And I was kind of at first like, nah, because I've gotten to such a good place with it. I accepted it. I moved on. I'm happy. I'm free. And I'm like healthier and happier and more successful in every way. So like I don't feel like I need to go back. But the other hand, you know, like family is a very important thing, and that's still a heavy thing, you know. And so he was telling me that, and I just, you know, I listened and I was like, okay, yeah, like that, it's possible, yeah. And I kind of accepted that as it could happen. Well, going back a couple months, maybe in the summer, my brother, I have one brother, he started reaching out to me, and I didn't, you know, I didn't really know what to do, but I was just like, all right, cool. It was, you know, we had conversations about random things, but I didn't really know how he thought, you know, and I didn't really know who he was because it had been 5 years basically since I've talked to my brother or my parents. I mean, I've called him a couple times, and, you know, my mom has told me basically, hey, like, I know you've never done anything wrong to me. You've been great. It's kind of like, it's like, it's an interesting thing, but at the same time, like, we're still doing this, you know. But my brother was reaching out, and then when I was, you know, in America and driving around, and maybe this was back in, it was on Halloween actually, and I had this kind of gut feeling. I was like, I should get up to Ohio. I had to get up there for a reason for my work, and then I was like, I'm gonna hit the road, and I was basically driving through my brother's city, and I kind of had this thought, like, it was just going through my head that day, this kind of just putting it all together, and I was like, this is so fucking bullshit. Like, this is my fucking brother. Like, him and I, like, you know, we're fucking brothers. Like, this is retarded that we can't be friends or just, you know, just get past this. Like even I'm okay, and I accept what is and what happened and the way things are, but at the same time realizing it's total bullshit, you know. Like, and basically I was shifting my perspective on it and opening myself up more to it. And I just kind of got this idea. I was like I'm driving through his city. I haven't seen him in years. Like, he was kind of reaching out. I'm just going to fucking put it out there. So I just sent him a text like, yo, I'm driving through your city. I'll be there tonight. Let me know if you want to hang out and, you know, grab a beer or smoke or whatever, because he likes to smoke. And I was like, and let's, you know, let me know. And he was instantly like, yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. You know, what time? I get off work at this time. And so he was like super stoked and into it. And so, which I was actually surprised. I expected no, you know, no thanks, or I'm busy or whatever. I figured he'd blow me off, but he wasn't. He was like genuinely open to it. So, we made plans, figured it all out logistically, and met up and hung out, and we just like hung out and smoked and just like talked for like 3 hours. And I didn't bring up any stuff with the family. I didn't talk about any negative stuff for the past. We just joked and bullshitted, and I got to realize that he was actually, you know, become a pretty cool guy, and that it seemed like his mentality had shifted. You know, he wasn't as retarded as maybe I. And by that I mean like his views weren't so negative in the way I thought they might have been. And we had a really great conversation, and it doesn't on a good visit, like a genuinely good time. And even if that's all it was, even if it's just that one time where we just had a good conversation and we kind of reconnected, that was super cool. But that was a huge progress. I mean, I hadn't seen him for 5 years, and then he kind of in that conversation let it out that he was wanting to reconnect, and that's why he was texting, and he wasn't sure if I wanted to, so he felt kind of he wasn't, he felt kind of like let down or something like that. And it was all a very good experience. And so I just wanted to share that because that's maybe someone is going through or will go through what I've gone through. I know other people it's happened to where families split up, siblings get in a fight, they disown each other, the parents, break up, or they don't want anything to do with you, or, when you're going through this journey, especially at the start, and you get like the red pill rage, and you maybe start challenging the status quo, or you do, which I did, and it's like totally stupid, but you start saying like, I know the truth, and it's not that. And people hate that, and that causes a lot of issues. Anytime you fight against or go against the way that basically everybody's programmed to be back in society or back in the West, it kind of separates you, and it's kind of a painful, dangerous thing. Like even if you think even if you got to do it, like you'll experience that separation or that split. But as you change and grow through that, there is opportunity for you to reconnect, or at least to be on good terms with people, and that's a good feeling. Because like one thing in my life is I don't want to have, I can accept the way things are, but I also don't want to have any regrets, and I want to know that I did the best I could, and I think that's a really good thing. So I just want to share that. I thought that was very cool. And then let's I think maybe going to the kind of current situation. I've been dating this girl here and for basically about a year, seeing each other for about a year, and that's been pretty great. And she's a pretty good girl, and it was something that I was, Ronin.
She's 19. And
yeah,
you're 35.
yeah.
It's good, no, but it's good people.
Okay, yeah, she's 19, and she's been a good girl, and her, but at the same. Yeah, and I was getting kind of pretty serious. So I was starting to think, like, I'm considering, like, kids and stuff, in the future, like, near future. And so, and also, like, when you go on this journey, there's different stages on it. And one of the stages, like, you might be like, oh, maybe I could do this, Yeah, like, because to a lot of guys, that's pretty attractive. And to even me, I consider that. So I was kind of getting pretty serious about her and her. And then at the same time,
But also, too,
yeah.
the guy's got to know the whole situation. Plus, you're boning tons of other chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's like key thing, right? Because like people say, oh, he's hanging on this one girl, he's getting all serious. It's like he's getting serious, but he's getting serious about a concept of having kids because he likes kids, right? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, he's boning tons of chicks, right? So you're getting laid all the time, and you have this girl that you're thinking maybe this could be the one, the baby one, right?
Yeah, she okay. Yeah, you're right.
So it's good because that gives the people.
She was like my best.
True understanding.
Yeah, she was like my best girl. Basically.
Yeah.
And the number one, and cause you're always gonna have if you have multiple girlfriends, you're always gonna have a best girl. There's gonna be one that's gonna be more in your heart. It's true. You'll just feel it. And she was talking about giving me kids in the future, and so something I was considering, and meeting the family, and one thought I started having the past couple of months ago was like, now obviously I could totally decide I don't want to do that, but it's like, is this really the best one? Or is this the best option? And something in me just told me like, I need to keep my eyes open, and I need to experience and explore more, and I need to not get totally locked into just thinking, because I met one girl who's young and sweet and wants to have kids with me, to think that that's like, oh, this is it, right? Like, this is the best. And so something in me told me like, I need to go. I just felt like I want to go to the Philippines. I need to go there, and I need to see what else is out there, so that if I make a decision, I'm making it with as much information and understanding as possible. And also because this is what happens. You'll see guys we come out here, and then they meet one good girl, and then they just fall head over heels, or even a girl, and they don't necessarily think like, she might be pretty good. Maybe she has a great pussy, or she's super cute, or she doesn't fight with you, she's easy to get along with. But there's like different qualities and different levels. And so anyway, so when I went to Cebu, I like lucked out, and I met like a total sweetheart on the first day I was there, and she's awesome, and she's about the same age. Tiny, super cute, just a little sporty, little spinner, and just awesome. And that actually changed things for me, because I was like, ooh, this girl's really fucking good too. Like it's early to tell, but like it kind of made me like take a little step back, I think in a good way, and be like, don't spin out too much, thinking that just this one girl you met is the only one that it could work with, or that you could do that with, or that if it didn't work out with her, then like, that's it, I guess it was a lost cause. And so
I want to add something
go
as
ahead.
you go, so people can get a concept. So like if you're back home and you're thinking, I don't have any girls, I don't want any bitches, that is a very valid feeling and very reasonable reaction to the girls. But when you go somewhere where you get better girls, everything changes overnight.
Yeah.
So you think, I never want to fuck it. I don't need girls. I don't want. But then if you meet like a really good girl, it does change things, and I've seen it with pretty much almost every guy. It's like you think that you don't want girls, but you're basing it on what you think is a girl, right? And what's available. So when something comes that's like much more fun to be with, much more, like no hassles and sweet and fun and fits into your life, and you're not spending a bunch of money on, because you didn't spend any money on her, right?
Oh yeah, no, this girl's awesome. Like she's smart. She likes to be cheap.
She basically went to your house, right?
Oh yeah. I didn't spend any money on her. And then when we'd go out, she'd be like, "No, that place is expensive." Like, she was like trying to find like the bus is better, the taxi's better. Like she's trying to find, and she's very helpful too. But she's trying to find like the best, cheapest, fun thing to do. Not asking for anything, just want to spend time with me, which is completely different from a lot of girls out there. Like, even if the girl likes you, there's a lot of them that want to do those things or have expectations, and so it's very different types.
It's pretty tough back home to have a super hot girl at that age who's digging on you, mid-30s, and just drilling your brains out, and you're not spending money, and they're like helping you to not spend money. So these are the things that you kind of have to deal with when you move up to better girls, or when you travel somewhere where your value is higher.
Yeah.
So it's just good to know that you might be sitting and thinking, not me, never, but it just takes the right one. And then it's not like they got you. I think as a man, like part of your being wants some kind of feminine energy at some time.
Yeah.
So when you find a good fit that you don't necessarily have to commit to, you're not spending money, and she's young and hot and sweet, and all of a sudden you're like, well, this is all right. And so you kind of got to be ready for that too, for when that happens, because if you're thinking like, hey, this will never happen to me, then when it does, you're very vulnerable.
True.
Whereas if you're kind of ready for it, like, wait, if this came along, if this was this situation, then I would accept it. And the best way I could say it too is the story I told before about my Scottish friend. He had like a bunch of girlfriends, and we were talking. If you heard this episode, but just bear with me. But basically, he came to me and he's like, I got to get rid of my girlfriends. They're driving me insane. I'm going to get rid of all of them today. And I was like, well, don't you have a lot of them, And he said, yeah, I got like whatever, 8 or whatever. And I said, okay, so I said, well, what is bothering you? Exactly. And his instinct was to say, fuck, they're bitches or whatever. I said, no, tell me what is actually bothering you. What is the thing that you don't like? Like, if this didn't happen, would you be okay? And he's like, well, there's no use in saying because it could never be without this. I said, well, what is it? And he said, well, I spend all my time with them. They're always like telling me to go here, like we had to do this. Basically, they were controlling him. And he was under their control, but he had no idea that he had part of that. I could have the same girlfriends, they wouldn't be controlling him.
He had difficulty saying no.
Well, he just
I'm
didn't
doing
know.
this.
He wasn't aware.
It's understandable.
Women will take control
Oh, yeah.
if you don't know how to handle the thing. Yeah. And you don't always know how to handle everything, but you learn one thing at a time. And I listened to him and I said, okay, so I knew he was a pretty studly guy, so I knew the girls really did dig him. So I said, well, I thought about it. And he was very unwilling to talk, even though, he was like a good friend of mine and everything. But But he did keep talking a little bit. So I said, look, what if they came to your house, came to the door, came inside, dropped their pants, let you fuck them, and left? I said, would you want that? They would never come in your apartment, never go on dates with you, never be around to control you. Just come over, turn around, bend over, you fuck them, and they leave. I said, what if they did that? Would you still feel the same way? You want to get rid of all of them? And he was like, well, of course, if they would do that. And so I said, okay, so do this. I said, go tell all the girls that, basically you're working on your business, you're thinking about this, you're busy. So you only want to keep a girlfriend if she's willing to just come over and do exactly what I said, in the Genkan in Japan, the shoe area. Yeah, basically come in, pull her pants down for you, and then basically fuck you, and then never come in the apartment. Just talk to you a little bit there, and then leave. And he said, well, if I do that, they're all going to leave. So it's like you want to get rid of them, but you don't want them to leave you. That's ego, right? And the way you stay free is by letting girls leave you. See, guys want to get control. They want to say, okay, I'm going to tell her out of here. That's not actually being a stud. The stud is lets the girls leave. You raise what you're asking of them. And then when they're tired and they find it agreeable, they leave. It's hard for guys to be left. Guys, that's why they want to kick them out. They always want to kick them out. But if you want to be a stud, you got to let them leave. Keep meet with them less times, give them less money. And then when they're tired, they'll call you a bunch of names and they'll leave. That's hard for guys to do. They always want to be in control. But you got to be like that. You got to be a stud is just like, hey, here's the deal. If you want this, and if not, and then the girls are like, I don't want that. Okay. It's like, well, nice meeting you. I think you're a nice girl. Good luck. Glad we did this together and everything. You don't have to be mean. You can be nice. Say, that one time was really special when we went to this one place. And I think your sense of humor is hilarious. I'm sure some guy's going to love you. And then see you later. And then you can just let it go. You can let them leave you. And so he was like looking very unsure. So then some like 2 weeks later, of course he totally forgot that I gave him advice, but he goes, he's all happy and everything. And I said, well, so did you ever, he goes, oh, that's right. He goes, I told the girls they could all leave or, they can just turn around in the Genkan. And so I said, so what happened? He goes, well, I think 4 or 5 of them left, and 3 of them stayed. And they were very happy. Like the 3 that stayed were more happy. Okay. And so I said to him, some things I didn't say because I knew his ego wasn't ready to hear it, but he thought, like most guys have all these ideas about women. It's like they want a relationship, they want to get married. Actually, those 3, he was the one that was being an idiot. They just wanted his dick. Okay? And they pretended like they wanted a relationship because he wanted a relationship in their minds. Actually, he didn't, but he was being fake, and then they were being fake. So when he told them, here's what I want, do you want that? 3 girls wanted that more than what he was giving them before. They actually didn't want to be his boyfriend. They wanted just to get boned and then just to be on their way and feel satisfied and go live their life. And he was like shocked. And it's not a compliment in a way. You realize that you're not that important. And then not every girl wants, like you're not right either about everything. Like some girls, they just want your dick. They just want to get fucked. But you think they want, so you give them all this stuff and it frustrates you. So you break up with them. But actually they just wanted to get boned to start with. So a lot of times the guys are the ones that create their own problems. Whereas when you're willing to let them go, right? You're willing to raise what you demand so that they might leave you, right? Or what you're willing to give. Like the one girl I met at McDonald's for coffee on a first date. I met her. We walked down to McDonald's, and I said, let's get some coffee. And then she looked in there and she goes, oh, I don't do McDonald's. And I was like, oh, okay. And she goes, yeah, I don't do McDonald's for coffee with a guy. And I said, okay, well, it's been, thanks for coming down. It's been great meeting you and everything. And she was kind of like, she changed because she thought I was going to take her to an expensive coffee shop or I was going to be an asshole. But she told me, okay, she doesn't do McDonald's coffee. But see, I do McDonald's coffee. So I'm doing McDonald's coffee and she doesn't. So that means she's leaving.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing McDonald's coffee. I'm happy with that. I don't think it's smart to spend $5-6 on a coffee. What's the point? So she looked at me, and when I didn't respond the way she wanted, I could tell she was much more attracted because she was really surprised that I didn't, because she knew I had the money. Like I actually had tons of money at the time, but I just don't see any value in it. So I'm like, I'm just going to have coffee here. And then she was kind of like, well, you could tell she was kind of like, I guess I could do it. But I kind of encouraged her. I said, look, I totally get it. Like, this is not your thing. And she was a pretty girl and everything and young. And I said, you're the kind of girl that guys take out to nice places, and that's great. If that's what you value, you should totally find guys like that because there's tons of, most guys will take you to nice places, or to places that are more expensive. I said, but I'm just, I like to go in here. And I could tell as the girl left, she kept looking back at me. She was like really thinking about coming. But I was kind of saying, you said you're leaving, so leave, is what my attitude was. Because,
Love,
because I don't want her,
which is the best thing.
I really, no, because I don't want her to break her rules and then blame me later.
Right.
Like,
So she left.
she did. And I would let her go. Like, I could have easily had her stay because she wanted to stay. I could tell.
But kind of like,
But I was kind of like,
yeah.
you
Plus, you kind of want more a girl who's like down to do whatever you want to do.
right. I don't want to
No
have to
matter
always
what.
be talking him into, or
It's going to be annoying.
yeah. And so, if that is the big issue, if expensive coffees is really the most important thing, they're not for me. I do like organic vegetables. I do spend money on food. I'll spend money to get organic beef with no hormones. It costs a fucking fortune, but I'll do things that I consider valuable. But I won't do some things I don't consider valuable. So that's the velvet glove with the iron fist.
Yeah.
Is I just am going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do what I value. But I'm not always going to explain it to the girls. And then if somebody's not down with that, I am okay with this being the end.
I think that's something I maybe
So
do wrong is I try to explain things to them all the time. So they try to get them to understand that I'm not coming from a mean place, but it has a logical reason, or here's how I'm thinking. Probably do that too much.
I think what you can do is by not getting defensive and by just talking to her and looking at her in like I don't look at her like angry or I'm not like, I'm just talking to her like a very nice voice. I'm just like, well, I like to go here. I like coffee here. So, if you don't want this, that's totally fine. Yeah, let's call it a day. It's been great meeting you and everything. And then the girl's like, so I'm not explaining it like you were saying, but I was also not, I think people would misinterpret. I was not being a dick
Yeah.
with my eyes, with my voice.
You weren't being hard or anything.
No, I wasn't. I was literally like, oh, I see. This is what you value. And then maybe she could rethink what she values after she met me, right? And go on and think more clearly, like, maybe that's not the number one thing. She can think about that with the next guy, right? Like, what do I value, right, as a guy? A lot of girls, they get so used to kind of demanding things. Guys give it to them, and they never have to think about what they value because they kind of get whatever they want. Whereas for me, I'm not going to do stuff I don't want to do. And, but at the same time, I completely, totally accept that most people are not like me. Most people are not like me. They just don't think the way I do. And that's fine. But I don't expect them to think like me, but I accept them to say, hey, this is what he's doing, and it's not exactly what I want to do, but I want to go because I want to be with this guy. I like this guy. You know, I'm going to rethink things.
Yeah.
So if a girl gets to that level, then we can really go somewhere. You know what I mean? We can really have a good time together. Because a lot of times I'll just take a girl like in the middle of the night and we're just like sitting there. We're just fucking and we're finished. And it's like Friday night. It's like 11 o'clock. And I'm like, fuck. We should fucking go to the mountains. We should go camping in the mountains. And then I'll just pack my car. You know, in Japan I had BMW. I'd stick my tent in there. And then I'd be like, this is perfect. No traffic now. It's Friday night. Traffic's done. We can just zip out there. Be there in like an hour and a half. And we can wake up tomorrow morning in the beautiful next to this river that I know. And then the girls would be like, I'm down. Let's go. You know. And they just come with me. Because they realize like, they realize it's fun to be with me in that I actually think about things. Whereas most guys, they just do things girls want or society wants. And so I do give them a chance. If that girl would have called me back, then I would have taken the call for sure. If she would have called me back and said, you know what, I really thought about it. And what you said was very deep, you know, because I realized like, I really don't care about coffee. And then I would have said, well, what do you care about? And then she would have said, well, I do care about this. Or I don't know, but I don't care about that. Okay, well, let's fucking, let's go do something, you know. Let's meet up. Yeah, let's meet up. And then the girls, then you've actually broken through the date, like conversations. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a good thing. And like what were you saying that started me thinking this? You said something about the girl.
I don't even remember now.
Okay, but anyway,
I'm zoning and listening.
That got me.
We're basically
on
talking about we're talking about managing girls ultimately, and I think it came from I was saying that this girl I met in the Philippines was like really cool because she was smart. She didn't want to spend a lot of money. Like she was like trying to help me save, like thinking like finding the places or wanting to go to the places or this route's cheaper, you know, like things like that. Like she was into save, which is also how they think. That's how they live. So instead of being like, oh well, I've got a foreign guy now, so he can just buy me a bunch of shit. She wasn't thinking like that, and I noticed that was like very nice. Like this is like a cool chick that like was smart or was like, you know, like the things we were doing were just like cheap, fun, easy things. It wasn't like all about spending money. It was about spending time together, and like that's the kind of like girl in a relationship that I value more and realize is like I think is a better type of relationship where they just want to be with you versus they want you to take them to fancy places.
Well, this is a really good, I would say there's some girls in Asia who, when they meet a foreigner, and it's sad that a lot of foreigners think every girl's like that, but they think that when they meet a foreigner, then they want to just get your money, right? And if you believe that, right, you will essentially get that. Because if, let's say you meet a girl who's like that type of girl, who wants to help you, you're going to treat her bad because you're going to be like, oh, I always get this. Okay, I'll pay, you know. It's always like that here, blah, blah, blah. And the girl's going to be like pissed. And she'll be like, okay, this fucking guy, I will take his money, right? I will like be that guy. Because that's what he wants. That's what he thinks is going to get. So fuck him, you know. Whereas like for me, my girlfriends here in Asia have always been like that type you're talking about. Mm-hmm. They always teach me the bus system because every foreigner takes the taxi, right? Or the Grab. Whereas the locals take the bus.
Yeah.
They usually don't even take the BTS because it's more expensive, right? Or the subway and stuff. They just take the bus. And so I like the bus. I mean, I'm basically Asian. Like I've been here long enough. I prefer the bus system. So I'm always looking when I get to a new country of a girl who knows how to get around like the local way. It's actually better. You can always have the Grab for when you're really in a hurry. You know, you can mix Western with Eastern.
Yeah.
But if you actually live here, then you're better off doing it the local way.
Oh, great.
You are, because if you don't do it the local way, you're going to always run out of money.
Mm.
You're going to run out of money because you're going to have to go home and earn money, or you're going to have to make compromises and maybe do something you don't value to get more money. But I don't like the Western way. Like, you guys are all pretty new in Asia. For me, I've been here forever. So I really like the Asian way. I'll take the time to learn it and then just live that way. And people don't understand me, like the foreigners say, well, it's only like an extra $1. It's not even about that. It's just like, it's just, it's a more reliable, better way to live. Like, you're more likely to get here on time. Like, you were late because you took the bikes, right? And the locals never take the bikes like that. They'll take the bike from a certain location to the station, but they never take the bikes anywhere else. Those bikes will always rip you off if you're not going to the local station. That's the only purpose of the motorcycles here, is to take you from where you are to the nearest
terminal
station.
or something. It's better, like if you're going to like a main hub, right?
No, they're always the nearest station. That's their point. They're servicing locals, and their job is to take you from where you are to the station so that you can go somewhere to work.
Okay.
That's what they do. That's all they know. So, and the foreigners are always like, the bike guys always rip you off because they don't understand what the bike guys do. The bike guys don't know any other areas.
They know their little area.
They only know their area.
That makes sense.
And they know all the buildings around that station, so that when they're at the station, then they can take the guy to his house. So this house to the station, they know that. But they don't know anything else. So when you say, hey, take me to Kaosan Road across town, the guy he'll give you a crazy price. It's like the guy's literally overwhelmed. He doesn't know what to do. Because he's like, well, I'm going to drive all of. It's like totally, you're asking him to do something he doesn't do, he doesn't understand, and doesn't want to do. He really doesn't want to do it. He wants to do.
Stay in his comfort zone.
He wants to stay in his comfort zone,
Yeah.
constantly get 20 baht.
Not have to think.
I think maybe
Go station, come back, go station.
I think maybe the
Come back.
different version of that would be like the Grab bike taxis, which are basically
Grab, whenever you talk about a foreign website, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the bikes, the guys on the street.
The local bike
the
taxi,
local system, the local guys. Hey man, can you get me right? Those guys, they're always going to the local. And it took me years to figure this out
That makes so much sense.
because I was like, he's ripping me up, and I'm like thinking, this guy doesn't seem like a scammer. And then I was talking to my friend, and he's like, yeah, because he just doesn't understand what you're telling him. Like, why would he ask me to take him over there? It's like if you got into a taxi and said, take me to New York, and you're in L.A., and then you say, well, I'll give you $1 billion. And the guy's like, well, he's like, fuck. Or not $1 billion, but, I'll give you $10,000, right? And he's like, well, I got my wife and my family, and I got to do this, pay my rent.
I realised that.
He just doesn't, like, it's not that it's not enough for him. It's just that it doesn't fit with his lifestyle and
There's
what
two
he's doing.
systems running parallel to each other. There's a Western
Yeah.
/ tourist system, and
Yeah.
then there's the local
Right.
Thai system.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, no matter how much money I got, I still want to know what the local Thai system is.
I want
Because it's
to.
going to be more efficient, effective,
Yeah.
and it's going to cost you less, which is great. too.
It's more reliable.
And you're with the locals. and
it's
it's
super
more of a-
reliable.
You're tasting what it's really like to live here
Yeah.
as a local, which
Right.
is what I want to learn 100%, no
Sure.
matter how much money I got.
Right.
Because it's not about the money. It's
No,
about
there's-
learning how to live like the locals.
Right. And
Becoming part of the culture.
the rich Thais are all taking them.
Yeah.
It's just the really rich Thais actually don't take those guys. There's like a high so that would never be seen on a bike.
Yeah.
So there's a different. Basically, in Asia, you have the rich and the poor, or the rich and the middle class poor. And the very rich, the elite, have different rules.
Of course.
But it's not the same as like the wealthy in Japan, like or in the States. The rich here are super fucking rich. Like they're crazy rich. Like even if they move to London, they're insanely rich in London.
Yeah.
Like we're talking very, very wealthy people. So they have different rules. So that's what confuses people too. They say, well, they're rich in Thailand. Well, how many families are rich here? There's not very many. There's just a few, right? They're not even worth thinking about because you're never gonna.
They live in a different realm.
You don't even know the people in America who are like that,
Yeah.
like the Rothschilds
Faceless, yeah.
and those type of guys, right? But anyway, so back to the thing. It's like life is easy if you know how to manage girls, yourself, other people, and not to be butthurt about it. And like when I meet a girl, okay, let me give another example that I did that helped me to get in this way. So I was in China and I was talking to girls. When I got to China, it was like girls would just come up to me because I was the only foreigner. So they would come to me and they'd start talking to me. And I didn't even have to approach. Like they would just come up to me and start talking English to me. Whether they wanted to learn English sometimes or they liked me, it was a lot of attention, right? And so then I told them, I said, look, I said in Chinese, like, I didn't speak Chinese yet, but I said I don't want to speak English. I want to speak Chinese. And then the girls would look at me and then they would leave, you know. And then, so I kept, when they came up to me, I'd keep saying that. And
wow, they wanted to be English with you, and
yeah, they wanted English with me, but I knew that if I spoke, see, the thing is, I'm not stupid. Okay, I've lived in Asia long enough to know, and relationships, that if I talk English with them, there's a good chance I'm going to bone them. And now I got a girl who speaks English to me. I do not want a girl speaking English to me. I want a new language. Okay, so I like relationships in other languages. So they're just much better for me. Because then I can fit into their world, understand their world, their parents, and they can understand my world. We can go out with my friends. We can go out with their friends. I don't want where I'm always handicapped with an Asian girl. I'm very different than most foreigners. I just don't want that. I don't like it. I know it's retarded. Like, get up your ass, learn the fucking language. It's not that hard. And it's good for your brain. Super good for your brain. So I would just tell the girls, look, I don't want to speak. And then most would leave. But then I remember there was like, when I first got to China, I was busy studying. And then one girl, she wasn't so attractive. She wasn't attractive. She was young. She was young. She had great pussy, actually. Super nice box. Sometimes the prettiest ones don't have the best boxes. This one had a super nice box. Yeah.
Well, most of the time, our best lays were the ones that you would borderline not take out in public. If a guy's honest.
Interesting. Okay.
I've asked guys that and they've admitted it.
Okay. So this one.
It's true for me.
This one wasn't pretty, but she was super skinny, which I like, and had a really nice box. Nice smell, nice tightness, everything. Nice, very light on the hair. Almost like just a little poof of the soft hair up above. Not the hard hair that you have to shave. And so yeah, coarse hair. So she came up to me and then she looked at me weird and she went across the McDonald's. Then she came back. She spoke Chinese to me. And then we spoke Chinese. Even though my Chinese was terrible, she knew what I wanted. And she was like, this guy is honest. And it was like our first date was just speaking Chinese. And I'm trying so hard and I sucked. And then I think I fucked her that first date. And it was really good. I fucked her a bunch of times. And I was like, wow, that was great. And it was all in Chinese. Even though I could hardly say anything. I had to look things up. I had my books and stuff. And then she would talk to me in simple Chinese. And then eventually, or very quickly, my Chinese got better with her. And then there was another one came up. Same thing. I told the other ones to go away. And then she came up. And this one was attractive with a killer body. And then she looked at me, but she was like super high IQ. And so she looked at me and she's like, starts speaking. She goes, curling nods and starts speaking in Mandarin. And then we ended up dating. And then I just basically had those two girls that I had. Because I was too busy. I couldn't have any more girls because I still had like 5 left in Japan. And they would fly over and see me. So when they came, I had to like get 5 days free or 4 days free for them. And I knew if I had too many, I thought 2 is all I need. 2 Chinese speakers is what I want at this point in my life. And I didn't really need the sex that much, but I wanted 2 girls that I could talk to in every circumstance. Morning, noon, night, sick, poor, hungry, tired.
That's good.
Everything, right? And I wanted somebody in my house because I wanted to learn how to say browser and save a file in Chinese and, send a file. And,
so you'd have them come over a lot?
I wanted them kind of near me doing the things that I do. So, because I knew that if you learn the things that you do, how to say those things and talk those things, the rest will fill out. Whereas if you learn in school, they're going to teach you stuff you don't do. It's really hard to get to the stuff you do. I want someone to teach me the things that I talk about every day, use every day, do every day. Those are the most important things to me, right? And then after that, naturally, I'm fluent in those things. I'm fluent in my computer. I'm fluent in things in my room. I'm fluent in things in the gym. I'm fluent in things in the supermarket. Then the other stuff, because I'm not like I become fluent in those. I mean, the sentences, the answers, the cadence, the speed, everything was just right on. Then it was easy to be fluent in the language because it was just a matter of a bunch of vocabulary, learning these other situations, like break my arm, go to the hospital, learn about hospital language, right? Go on a trip to this place, learn about food language, and just learn different circumstances as I met them, plus study, right? So again, I told them what I wanted. They self-selected out probably 90%, 95%, and then the other 5% gave me exactly what I wanted. And I think if you could go back and ask those girls, I'm almost sure they would say that it was a very fun time. Like their boyfriend was learning from them, and we were learning together, and they knew the words I knew, and then they knew what I didn't know, and they knew how hard I was trying. So they really enjoyed a learning experience because they watched somebody, become fluent in a language. And I could tell they really enjoyed it, actually. Both of them, they really enjoyed watching me grow and learn. And I was studying my ass up. So I wasn't like relying on them. It was just kind of to get the more fluency and more naturalness. And also the jokes, because Chinese girls are always telling jokes. So I was like, I needed jokes. To get good at a language, you have to be able to be funny. You have to be, otherwise you're going to be bored out of your mind. So the girls bring the jokes. The girls, they teach you like how to say things that are funny in Chinese. And they will. Once they learn that you want to hear it, they'll say it, and you'll be thinking, why is that funny? Why is that funny? Why is that funny? And then, you think about it, you write it down, then you just think about it, and that's why it was funny, It takes a while sometimes. But you pick it up, right? You pick it up. So I think, with that girl, with this, it's all about being yourself, knowing who you are. I would say it's about knowing who you are, knowing what you want, telling people what you want, and allowing people to not be happy with that and think you're an idiot and leave. Because that's fine, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
So not every girl's going to like me. Not every girl's going to think that what I'm trying to do is smart. Not every girl's going to agree with living the way I live. But if I'm straight like that, I will actually meet people who do want to live that way and do like me. And then it becomes very easy to set boundaries because I did it from the very beginning. And it was a good experience for her. Because she realizes, he wasn't like ordering me around. He was showing me what he was interested in. And I could choose, do I want to, like I'm handing her some food, do you like this? Or, oh, I don't want this, no thank you. Or, oh, please, give me more, right? So it was like I was offering what I was, what I want. And I'm tough enough to let a super hot girl just walk out and say something mean or whatever. I was like, if that's what they are, if that's who they are off the bat, then, that's the experience, that I'm glad it's short, like it ended quickly, right?
Yeah. And
in the end, people sometimes are embarrassed because they react a certain way and they realize, fuck, that guy actually never was me. And he actually was a sincere guy. You will have girls who do turn around when they meet the very rare guy who does this. And so that's one of the key things with managing like several girls is that you are like that. So if they do catch you with other girls, they know, I think they inherently know you're not sneaking around. And they know it's not going to really have much benefit if they go crazy. it's better they really think about before they do something, because they're like, wait, if I act like I would with a normal guy, and just say, oh, you cheated on me, blah blah, and blah, then I'm gonna be like, well, because in my mind, I'm single. I'm not gonna tell her this, but I have my logic. Like I am very consistent. The girls learn. This is probably almost everybody's problem that you're listening, is you're not consistent with them. So they don't know who you are. When the girl knows that you're like a hard ass, but you're also nice, and you're just the way you are, who you are. When they catch you, before they go crazy, they will think twice, because they'll be like, wait. And sometimes they'll really think about it. And they'll be like, guys like pussy. Like, guys like pussy. And this guy is pretty. If I go too crazy, this guy is not going to stay around. Because I'm going to tell him I don't accept it. And he's going to say, okay, I totally understand that you don't accept it. And so, that's fine. It ends here, because not because of me, because you don't accept it. Which is fine. Yeah. So
I accept that you don't.
I accept that you don't accept me. Yeah. Because, like, I'm a man.
That's a good principle across the board.
Yeah, and having, getting pussy, like, if new pussy comes out, that's really good, like, and I'm really into it. Like, I don't want a girl who's just gonna blow everything up. And I truly believe that most girls don't care. They just are so used to the roles that men and women have and the dynamics that usually play. They're so used to it that they do it.
And everything.
Yeah, they're so used to it that they think that it's just the normal, like something you kind of have to do.
Yeah.
It's like you have to do it. Like when I was growing up, I had a friend and his family would eat like they were French royalty. It was the weirdest thing. They were not rich, but they had really expensive silverware and really nice food. And they had all these European paintings on the wall. And they acted like royals. Like they were very odd people. But it was almost like in that house, they were a rich royal family. And if you did not use each fork exactly right and in the right order, you were like a fucking barbarian. Like you were not. And I learned how to eat properly, like a 10-course meal, from going to their house and just not being able to do it. But I thought it was interesting to learn. I like to learn everything. So I learned how to properly eat, essentially, a 10-course meal, the right way, which seems simple, but it's not. But at some point, I learned that to me it has no meaning. I don't find a lot of meaning in these. I don't find a lot of meaning in these rituals. At the same time, I don't look down on them. I find that rituals sometimes are part of a culture. And European history, European culture, part of it is how to eat. And a lot of Americans cannot appreciate that at all. They're like, damn it, I just fucking eat it out of my hands. And that's because this is all bullshit. And actually, I think there is for some people, for some culture, there is meaning in stuff. Like Japan, there's meaning in ritual in Japan. Most of Japan is ritual, actually, with nothing behind it. But they find meaning in that ritual. So I think there could be meaning in the ritual for it. I'm not saying that's not possible. But I would say for me, I know how to do it. And I took the time to, I was shamed into it too as a kid, because when I would go to their house. But then I learned, hey, this is something they really enjoy. I want to do this because out of respect for them at this dinner, right? And then I learned that it does come in handy once in a while. Knowing things that, these days people used to do, or the proper way to do this or that. It is kind of fun to know. And it does put you in a...
It's good to learn the rules before you break the rules.
Yeah, like how like you understand the proper way to use chopsticks. You understand what to do at a Japanese temple. And you understand why people wouldn't be happy with you walking with a tank top and not throwing the 5 yen in and clapping your hands and bowing. Like, this is very offensive, really, to a very ritualistic society. You should learn that ritual, even not for yourself, as I did for them, the family, right? You know, out of respect for them making me dinner, right? But at the same time, is bottom line, even with that respect, I realize that for myself, I'll play along, but I don't see a lot of value in having a huge set of silverware. And like, I would never buy, I wouldn't use it. But if I went to a French restaurant, which I went for my mom's birthday, she wanted to go to this very expensive French restaurant, and it came in handy. It was like the one good French restaurant in Southern California. Fantastic food. Fucking great food. And we did it all, you know. And it was kind of fun because none of us really value it. My mom and we, but we all know it from our own ways. You know, my parents, they know stuff that's surprising considering where they came from, you know. They have a class to them, like, that's interesting to me. There was no reason for it. They never were, you know what I mean? And they don't take it on. They just do it when it's necessary.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised what my parents know. Like, they actually know a lot of shit. It's crazy. I might have to ask them when I go home, like, how did they learn all this stuff? Because certainly didn't learn it where they grew up.
There's this thing called YouTube.
Yeah. They don't, dude, why don't watch, they don't watch
You
YouTube.
should try it sometime.
You know? Like, I'd like to know where they really got a lot of their polish. You know, where did it come from? Where was the moment? Just to see their learning process. Because it did not come from where they grew
Didn't
up.
they travel quite a bit after you?
They traveled, but
Not from
most people don't really learn these things traveling.
Right.
You know, they learned it some. My mom is an excellent chef, so maybe they learned it through my mom's cooking, or from her studying the proper way to make different kinds of foods. Maybe that was where then she taught my dad, but or maybe they just went to enough nice restaurants and tried to learn. Right? Probably that's more like it. But anyway, so you can go through life and you can lay down your rules, but or you know, allow people to, but at the same time you can also respect other people's values, even if you can't see how. Because like when I was younger, ritual had no meaning to me. Like ritual to me meant the definition of meaningless. Like I thought a ritual, I mean a religion I could understand. People value the religion, they pray to their God, and they do certain things, and they find meaning in it, right? But like ritual was the definition of something that you did without thinking. It was just ritualistic, without thinking. But now I think as I'm older, ritualistic things can, like washing dishes a certain way, can get you into a meditative state.
Yeah.
You know, where you just focus on the task at hand and let everything else go in the moment. So the ritual maybe could have value in almost like a meditation, or it could have value in respect for somebody that you used to know, or something, or culture or something, right? But so I would say on this thing of what we were talking about is you need to know yourself, but know the world too, so that you might be something in the world that you don't think is yourself, but you take on when you learn that it has meaning, right? So it's not you at first, but then as you allow yourself to see this ritual, to see this other thing, then it does become you. And that's kind of what happens when you stay in Asia longer, is you do start to take on things. It's like, it's not in the fake Madonna goes to London and speaks a British accent. It's not like that. It actually does become something that you value in some weird way, you know, as you're longer in a place, right? And then as you explain it, as you let people know who you are, and allow them to weed themselves out of your life, you understand who they are, you understand who you are, and you really understand you don't want certain paths. They just lead long distance to somewhere, and you don't want to go to that place. You know, it's like the same reason I don't go to bars. It's not that I don't think I'm going to drink. There's nothing like that. I just found that there's reasons I don't really enjoy it. And even when I was drinking, I really never liked bars, to be honest. Even when I was like wasted, I never liked bars. I don't know why. I found them very. I just don't. Now maybe somebody's listening to this and they're going to say, "I'm going to show Ronin the value of bars," right? Because maybe there is something that. But to me, I don't see it. So I don't see it as part of myself. And so I'll tell people I'm not interested.
Yeah. You're also a very social guy, and you make friends easily. So I think for a lot of people, going to bars in that scene is like trying to get that feeling or sense of social connection.
Right.
You know, so
right.
You're sitting there drinking next to somebody, and you're like, "Oh, where are you from? What are you doing?" And maybe you make a friend there, or you scratch the itch of social interaction. But if you have lots of friends, you know, you're like, well, you know, even if you want to drink, like, let's go fucking climb a mountain and have a beer on the peak, or let's fucking go to the beach and get some near beers and fucking, you know, just sit up on the ledge and howl at girls. Like, there's more ways to enjoy that if you're, you know, if you have friends like that. I think, at least in America, that's what I noticed.
I think that if that might be, you might have nailed it. Like, if people go to bars because they don't have the ability to make friends, to be social without alcohol, then that would be the reason, because I never really had a problem with that. Like, I don't, in fact, when I met, you know, just to give me an example, when I met the pickup guys, the PUA guys, most PUA guys go to drinking venues in order to meet girls. And so when I first met the pickup guys, I was kind of like really surprised because, well, like now there's girls who are claiming the R word if they were drinking when they met you. But see, for me, I think there is a little bit of truth to that. See, I always seduce girls sober, so they never have any regrets because we were dead sober.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're feeding somebody drugs or drink, you are kind of doing that.
That's the whole getting lucky.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, you're trying to.
Says getting lucky, right? But if you're
Actually, like,
it's just that it's socially acceptable.
yeah,
To
Drunken hookups.
yeah, drunken hookups. It's socially acceptable, but you are kind of doing that. Like, I don't like those type of things. Like, I never like networking events, and I don't like networking type of people. But I have a huge network, right? But I really dislike any networking event. I find everybody there is very insincere. They're always doing sales. Whereas, like, I network because I want to meet people. Like, what kind of person are you? You know, what kind of person? Who's here in this party? What kind of people are here? You know, and then is there anything we have in common? That's what I always look for. And then from that comes true connection. And then from that comes, oh, I want to help you. What are you doing? Oh, you're doing that. I know somebody who does that. And they're just like, help you out. And then you help them out, right? Because you're friends, right? So I never wanted to go to network events. I never wanted to drink to meet girls. I never needed it. So if that's the reason why people go to bars, either consciously or subconsciously, right? That would make very good sense. Why I don't like them, because they're just kind of, to me, very forced. Whereas if you can just go meet a sweet girl, like I would always meet girls working at stores. You know, like the girls I've had, like one was my tour guide, right? One was working at Subway sandwiches. You know, one was at a kind of a business party. You know, one was, let's see, I'm just trying to think of all of them. The girl in a convenience store, the girl, like, it's just like endless people that I just met along the way. And as I go places.
interesting in like real people in real situations versus going somewhere where you're trying to artificially create
connection and chemistry.
Right. For me, pickup is not being at home alone. So I got to get out of the house,
Yeah.
go cruise around, do stuff,
Yeah.
and then I'll meet people, and then I'll make friends and girls that I could bone. But it's just from being out and talking to people and finding out if they're good for me or good match or whatever, or not. Right. That's my mindset.
You do pick up in the purest sense of the word, where you're picking up as you go about your day anyway.
Yeah.
You're not specifically, well, that I know of. You don't go,
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and do pickup. You're like, well, I'm going here, I'm going there, and I can meet girls along the way and bring them with me.
That's
Yeah.
that's when I that's
Yeah.
also when I meet the best
It's a great
girls too. Is when I'm just hanging with the guys. That's what I was like. So I think some guys think like, oh, I got to get away from the group or get it. If you're at something like you'll see it sometimes like I got to get away from everybody
Natural
so I have a chance to meet girls.
Yeah.
And it's like
natural way.
I've met the best girls just hanging with the guys or just walking around talking, making jokes and bullshitting or working on a project with Ronin, and then it's like, oh, there's a sweetie pie, and Ronin will usually point her out like that one, and then that's always the best. That one, and then you go for it, and it's like great. And then it's like, hey, we had a great day. Go get that one. You won't regret it. You'll regret it if you don't. And I always meet the best girls that way. Versus if I'm like, on the hunt, I'm like gonna go out and meet somebody. And also like it's like you're not trying to meet them. You're just going about your day and you're going about your life and you're doing your thing, and it just there they are.
Well, the thing is when the reason why it seems coincidental when I tell you to talk to a girl that it works out is because I can see it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Like I look at her face, right?
Yeah.
The way she's looking at us or hanging her head, like it's like I can sense it's on. So then it's like go that one. It's because I can sense it's on. So then you go up and it's on. So you have to learn to sense when a girl's like it's on, and then so you're basically going out in your daily life, and then you sense it's on, and then you go talk. That's what it is. It's not like I'm out of my daily life and I'm making something happen that isn't happening just because I'm out at 7-Eleven or whatever. No, I'm out there ignoring most girls, and all of a sudden I see one that I can just tell is interested, is open. Then I'll,
Yeah, they're
Talk-
almost like highlighted.
Well, that's how the girl
You know?
wants to be picked up, and that's the story she wants to tell her friends. That I met this, I was at this place, I met this guy randomly, he approached me. That's how they want to be picked
right. And then they always tell guys like, I gave him so many hints, but he didn't get the
up. One little
hints.
sideways look.
Yeah,
He missed-
but
Then you pick it up.
that's what you got to catch.
Yes.
You got to catch the or you got to like. You're not always going to be absolutely 100% right because sometimes they want to just say hi or they want to. They don't necessarily want sex, but they want to talk to you. They're open to talking to you, and then you have to, again, see what that leads to. But usually, if girls are open to you, they're usually open to sex too. Like girls are pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like they're either open to sex with you or they're not. Right? They really are.
1 plus
They
1
really
is 2.
are.
If they like you too, chances are they're gonna.
Whereas guys are like open to sex with almost any girl. Right?
Sometimes goats.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So it's different, but the girls you have to learn like how to sense it. And you can sense it. There's something about some kind of openness, like that girl, the Laotian girl.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about the way she was kind of hanging her head with her hair down and then looked over. There's like,
Yeah.
it was a totally different look than the confident Thai girl.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
something-
Even the one that
she was a total sweet.
The one that I met in the MRT station last night, and we both saw her, and there's just something about there and the way she was. We both noticed it, and then you're like, oh, yeah, you should definitely go back for that one. And I did, and it was spot on. We got a date for tonight. So
That
it was
one.
just something
Jeez.
about her, and you can just feel it. And the more time I spend with you, the more I start to learn it, pick it up as well. Because you pointed out, and you start to just develop that sense. But
I think as you
it
get,
helps a lot because you'll be like that one, or if
We
you're
should
like
help each other out.
if she catches your eye,
I think,
it's usually
well, I think the way you help yourself out is by stop living by bullshit ideas. Because the more you let them go, the more reality will show itself to you. So it's our own ideas that keep us from seeing it. So if I go get the girls and help do it for you. It won't help you. It'll help you get laid, but it won't help you to be able to see it. So if you realize, hey, I got stuff blocking me, because you are intelligent. You have everything you need to see that. Those girls are giving you signs. And you have everything you need, to see that. Now, you're going to be, of course, sometimes she could be open and then you open the wrong way the conversation and she loses interest. So, again, it's an openness and it requires...
With conditions.
Yeah, well, it's an openness.
With a flow.
It's like, what would be like? It would be like when I was on TV. The TV guy would be talking, the main star. Like when I was on a game show, right? And then he's looking around. He wants somebody to say something. And so then he handed me the mic and I said something and it turned out to be funny. And the audience went crazy. And then he was very happy and he kept coming back to me over and over. But if I would have said something that wasn't funny, if the audience didn't laugh, and he gets the thumbs up from the producer, he would have never come to me again.
Yeah.
So he gave me a chance. It's not that he changed his mind, she changed her mind. She gives you a chance and then she sees, is this what I think? And then if it is, then she wants to go more. Right? So you have to, it's the first thing is seeing it and then like learning how to just go up and just talk normally. She's like, oh, again, so basically, you're going to see her, right? And you'll be like, oh, maybe that one. Maybe that one's open. And then you go up and say something like...
You like cock?
You say something like what you said, which is basically one of the best lines, is like, I saw you.
Oh.
I thought you were pretty.
So...
And I had to say hi to you.
Yeah, I did this the last two girls. We were just talking about the Laotian girl who was super sweet and just the total angel, and then the girl in the subway station last night. So basically each one, I walked by them, I saw them, maybe they saw me, they probably do, right? And then kind of walked barely by, and then immediately was like, oh, gotta go. Paul's like, you gotta go for that one. That one, go talk to her. And then you just gotta make that decision right away. So go up to him and it's like, kind of like we're walking up right now by him, kind of stop and like, oh, hey, like, what's your name? And then they'll give you the name and, and then you're like.
Okay, that's key. Number one is you came up to her and you didn't face her. You didn't say,
yeah, so.
You didn't come straight at her like a bulldozer.
Yeah, so actually both the situations, I didn't like run up to her and be like, hi, are you single? I walked up to her and, okay, so the first one, the last girl, like it's at night. Last night. Last night, the girl in the subway. So she's standing with her back to the wall,
looking at the phone,
basically looking at her phone. Everyone's walking by her, right? And I walked by her and then I came back and I walked up to her and I walked up to maybe about 2.5, 3 feet away. Let's say 2.5 feet away. And my body is angled towards her but facing forward as well. So I'm basically giving her like it's almost like would you say like 45-degree angle maybe. So I'm like kind of walking up and standing next to her, a little bit of space, but not facing her directly.
So
and kind of turning like towards her, like she's on my left, kind of turning towards her. I'm like, oh, hey, like, what's her name? Hey, what's her name? And then she gives me her name, and she looks up in this big smile, and I see like, all right, she's interested, she's not cold. And then I say like,
you delivered the line.
Yeah, and then I deliver the line, which is the truth. It's like I was walking by, I'm with my friend. I was walking by. I thought you look cute, and I had to come back and I had to ask your name. Like I hadn't basically I thought you looked cute, and I had to ask your name. I had to talk to you, and she
said ask your name. It's not a repeated line. It's like you had your own touch on that line.
Yeah.
You said I'd ask your name, and so what the girl's thinking is he is honest. Everything he said is congruent to what he did.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. It was the truth.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened. I saw her. I was walking by. I thought she looked cute, and realized I have to go talk to this girl and ask her name.
And so what she's thinking is like, basically, I'm gonna go live my life as a girl, and then at some point, the right guy's gonna walk by, and then it's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's her job is to look good. And then the guy just comes up out of nowhere and makes it happen.
Yeah.
And so she's using her filters like, okay, so he's, you're in good shape, good looking, right? So that passes. And then she's like, wait, he's like explaining. She doesn't think logically about it, but her brain is calculating this stuff. They're not, when it comes to mating, they're experts from a woman's perspective, right? They're being women, okay? They're 100% women. And her subconscious is like, wait, he's actually being very straightforward, explaining things to me, but it's kind of in a soft voice. I'm feeling like, okay, this guy's trustworthy. There's nothing fake. Oh my God, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
Very relaxed, smile on my
No,
face,
no,
just in this voice.
And because you were being honest,
Yeah.
you're also congruent physically too.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because you're just telling her what happened.
Yeah.
And then I just had to ask your name. That's very nice. It's not like you're super hot. You have killer tits. You're just like, walk by and talk. And that's the best line. It's one of the best lines. Is basically like, hey, I just saw you,
Thought you're cute.
and I just thought, if I don't say hi to this girl now, I'm gonna regret it.
I think I even said something like that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it was actually. I think
That's
it was something like that. Like, I had asked your name. I knew if I went home
I
and
think you were using my movie. Yeah, you were using one
there's
of my-
something like this,
Yeah,
and
It was
like
a
I knew
line
I would
was
regret it.
you guys,
Yeah, and
It's a great
it's true. That's why this worked, because it was true, and I genuinely felt it, and it was exactly what happened. And so it all, like Rowan's saying, it all fit and she flows, and she can feel it's natural. And then I find out like where she's from, that area, like, oh, she's here. She is in the Huayquang MRT station. Like, do you live around here? Oh yeah, I do. Oh cool, yeah, I'm living here as well. And she's like, no way, because no fucking foreigners live in this area, because everyone wants to stay in like Sukhumvit, be in the party zone. And so like when you meet a girl there, they're kind of surprised. It's like, oh, like you're like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And then I was thinking about gyoza, my favorite gyoza place. So I was like, do you like gyoza? She's like, I love gyoza. She's like, yeah. I was like, ah. And I basically immediately, it's like, I'm thinking about it. I'm interested in this girl. Basically proposed a date. It's like, I would love to take you to my favorite gyoza place here sometime.
How much does dinner cost?
Oh, it's not much at all.
No, but
It's
just tell me.
$20
for her gyoza.
Okay, let's say I get a box
For
of
her
like
part of gyoza.
let's say I get a box of 20 gyoza, like a huge box. Let's just say it's like $10 or something.
So $5 for her.
Yeah, so it's gonna be
So
cheap
You're spending $5. This girl is
to go in a place that I
she's-
want to go to.
Okay,
Yeah.
just so you guys know, this girl's pretty sexy. Like I saw her, I was with you. She has like cocksucking lips, and she had like a half shirt on, and her stomach is flat, completely flat, like very sexy. And here she is. You're gonna take her out. She's already agreed to go on a $5 date,
Basically, yeah, like
and she's young and hot, and
You'll
just
probably eat 3/4 anyway.
yeah.
Actually, leave a
yeah.
quarter.
So
that's
so
$5.
basically, yeah, I'm like, oh, I'd love to take her to someone. She kind of like sometime, like just sometime, like when, and I was like, I asked her if she had, I was like, you have line? Like, yeah, let me get your number and we'll schedule time, And then I was like, that's great meeting you. I gotta catch up with my friend, And then I said goodbye, and it was all, gave her a high five. It was a great interaction. Text her a little bit later, right online, and then maybe like 15 minutes later, we were walking back, and then basically made plans to, brought up the gyoza thing again, and I asked her if she was free tonight, and she's like, yeah, and we made plans to meet up at 7. So it was like, it was just like textbook, and then obviously I'm gonna actually take her to
Sure.
have her meet me at the station right by it, and then take her to the place, and that's the first fucking day. And then if it works out to, walk back to my place, which is in that area, and boner, well, then that's the way she goes.
And also, too, another thing for guys to know is this interaction. We were together. I was going home. He was going home. So we came in the station, walked by her. I said, you should talk to her. And then I kept walking. So you don't hang around when you're with your friends and watch them talking and put pressure. I just kept walking like I didn't know him. I was outside. I waited maybe 2 minutes, 1 minute, and then I texted you, is it going to be long or something, And then you said, no, and I'm on my way. And then you came. So I would say the whole time out of your day was a maximum of 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was under 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Probably 3, because I wasn't very long. So
I caught up to you right away, so.
So would you spend 3 minutes to get a smoking hot young Asian girl with a half shirt, cocksucking lips, and take her on a date for $5? Like, would you spend 3 minutes of your time to get this smoking hot young girl who's all fired up on you for a date for $5 out of your pocket? You know, like, would you do that? So again, the reason why you might not like dating or, you know, meeting chicks is because you think that whatever you're doing is the way it is. But if you keep your mind open, hang around cool guys, and that's really what you learn at summits, is you see other guys in action.
Yeah.
You see what not to do and what to do. So you do get a chance to practice and learn. These are all things that come along because everybody's coming up, right? Everybody's learning stuff. You know, even Sean was doing pickup. Was it last summer or the summer before? It was like amazing to watch him.
The redhead guy.
Yeah.
I watched him on the train.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Just checking the girl, checking the
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was very natural and it was a beautiful thing to watch.
Well, and then he did a good night. Was with you at the Kumo at the Spider in
Sean
Roppongi.
and I were on a rampage.
That night he was
That was insane.
he was on a rampage 2 years ago, and it was like so cool to hear about
We've had
it.
so many babes.
Because I was like, wow, you know, Sean is the last guy I would ever thought. And even he said in one of the episodes, he said, I never thought I was interested in girls. I just don't care about dating. You know, he's very logical. And he's like, when I got to Japan, I realized maybe I was thinking wrong. Maybe there's girls that are so cool that I could actually enjoy talking to them.
Yeah.
You know, and so a lot of your, you know, things you think you're sure about or not sure once you meet different kinds of people, and it's based on you also constantly being open to criticism and being open to being wrong, because that's the key with learning. Is if you're not wrong, you're never going to learn anything from here to on. The only way you can learn is if you say, "Oh shit, I was doing that wrong." You know, to yourself, just say quietly, like, "Fuck it." Okay, again. Okay, what else can I learn? You know, I was doing that wrong. Oh shit, I believe that stupid meme. You know, I put that meme in the group chat. You know, and it was total bullshit about Japan, and I thought it was real. You know, it's like even me, the expert on Japan, posted the most ridiculous fairy tale thing that wasn't real. But I didn't know because I'd never been there. I thought, well, maybe there is a town like that. You know, because there's some crazy cool towns in Japan. But I was wrong. I was totally fucking wrong. And then 11 said, that's a fairy tale thing. And I was like, oh shit, my bad. Because I was wrong, you know. So the key is you have to be, you can't let, I think that being wrong is one of the most important things. If you're never wrong,
If you're not getting
good
results, you are
luck.
wrong.
No, but even if you are getting results, that's the thing, is there's always more to learn. And like, it's like, basically we're wrong until the day we die. Just constantly learning. Like, oh, I want to learn how to do that better. Like, I used to make steaks and they were always rubbery. And if you ask me, oh, do you know how to make a steak? I'd say, yeah, I can make a steak. And then I went to a friend's house who really knew how to sear them and keep the juice in them. And like, they're absolutely fucking delicious. Once I learned searing, then I learned really how to cook a steak, right? But if I would have been like, oh, I know how to cook steaks, I realized my steaks suck. They're terrible. Then I like watched him, learned, didn't make logical sense. You know, he used to work in a restaurant. He would put the pan on the fucking thing for 6 or 8 minutes, full gas, heating the pan up to like red hot. And then he would throw the steak in there with no oil.
Wow.
Like the chilled steak from no oil. And then he would put it on there, and then he would flip it over, no oil. Then he would take it out, put a tiny bit of oil,
30 seconds each.
put it back in. I'm not sure how many seconds, but he would you know, give it that brown thing, and then he would put a little oil, flip it over, and then I forgot if he put it in the oven or something, but he did a bunch of things, and then it just became 1 million times better. And I was so glad that I was, because most men, they just don't want to learn. Like, really, most men are like, hey, buddy, I know how to make a fucking steak, all right? And that's kind of the end of it. Once somebody says something like that, I'm just like, ooh. I know that kind of thing. It goes deep. Is like he's like very frustrated with anybody criticizing anything he does. He's got it all wired, and I am very careful after that. Even if he asks for help, I'm just like, okay, this guy, he does not want to learn. He considers you the enemy if you disagree with him.
Yeah.
That's his personality. And so then I'm just like, okay, cool. If he's happy with his life, what he's getting out of it, it's totally fine, right? For me, I'm never happy. I'm always like, I always want to learn more. Now I want to learn how to sear shrimp, because like I never really seared them right. I want to cook them with that crispy shrimp on the outside, just get them perfect, And I also want to know how to make gyoza with a frying pan. I can make gyoza in a frying pan, but I can't do it. The way that I want to learn how to do it is the way they did it in Shanghai, my neighborhood. They would have them all in there with the oil in a really thick, heavy cast iron pan. And the bottoms of them would all connect to each other. So it became like one big pancake of gyoza.
Like a sear mill on one side, basically.
There would be oil down there, but it would all be tied together. Like you made them separately, but they cooked it at this really high heat, and then they would kind of, I guess the dough would kind of melt, and then they would all be connected, and then they would break them up and then finish the tops. Those ones are the best. They're so good, and it's hard to find a place like that. That's the old school. I think it's the old school country way of making them. And it's the most delicious. If you get that, if you get a fucking pans of those and near beers, that's literally my favorite dinner in the world. Okay, who's next?
Well, I think I was when we first got to Cebu, I had a little bit of a culture shock, and I think I think I need to learn how to like settle in quicker in one of these countries, because I've been in Bangkok for a long time, and pretty comfortable here. I have my routine. I go to the gym. I do Muay Thai. I know where to eat. I eat lunch every day at the same place, and then have my spots for dinner. But I think because of course Philippines it's not as developed as Thailand, so it was a little bit of an adjustment as far as the air and the walking, finding out where to go. There's different food, different restaurants. So
Closer, talk closer.
So yeah.
It's not quiet. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think once I settled in talking about the previous topic, I did do a couple of approaches, and approaching a girl with.
That's wine like that for you. Yeah.
Okay, approaching a girl with where she's open, where she like at the shopping center. So you were talking to the two. Where is that nighttime? You were talking to the two, and then I walked down.
Which shopping center?
At SM Seaside.
Okay.
So it was right after the sunset?
Oh, when we were walking along, yeah.
Yeah, so it was right after sunset. You were talking to two kind of so-so ones.
Two ugly ones.
Two ugly ones.
Yeah, they were friendly.
At the event, yeah. And then I walked down by myself.
Change over time.
I love the ugly ones.
So you took the grenades for me. So I walked down, and then there was two cuter ones on the bench, and the one was like smiling at me, just like looking at me smiling. And I walked by, I didn't say anything, and I walked by again, and so finally I approached her, and she was, super smiley, super friendly, and the two, they were going to school nearby, so they were students. She was 19, so.
How old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay, nice.
So.
And they're cute. I saw them.
Yeah, cute. Yeah,
students.
the ones.
She's all fired up.
Yeah.
The one, she does like some type of pageantry or something. She does some type of
Beauty pageant, maybe?
something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but she was really cool, really sweet, really friendly. I think like just recognizing that, like what you guys were talking about, like if they're giving you signals, I think before I don't really recognize that, or I only approach the girls that are like super pretty, or I approach ones that are not open to, I think, just reading the signals is better. You better success rate, I think, definitely.
Oh yeah.
You know.
No, you should definitely talk to the ones who don't want to talk to you. That sounds like the best way.
Oh, I was going to add a couple of things. I wanted to say, like, for one thing, they were university students,
Yeah.
so people can know that. And also too, a lot of the guys are convinced that all there are in Asia is certain bar areas and certain kinds of women. This is a very different scenario. We specifically went here, or I was very excited about going here a lot, because it was like, it's a very nice mall. SM, you can look it up online. SM Seaside Cebu, and it's absolutely fucking gorgeous mall. Like, it's better than malls in California by far.
World class.
Yeah, it's a world class mall.
And big.
The view on the roof is gorgeous, like looking towards the mountains or looking towards the ocean.
Yeah.
And you can watch sunset up there. You can get outside, and then the mall is full of basically up and coming, middle class, well dressed, Filipino families and young people. So university students were there. So we were in an area where you could meet quality people. There was no girls from the bar areas there. There's nothing like that. Just zero. Because this is like probably 20 minutes by taxi from any place like that. So it's like way across town. It's a brand new area. It's very well developed, and there's a lot of like nice brands and things in there. And so just so you guys know, like, where you go and what affects. Because if you're trying to do this and a girl shows interest in you, but you're in the bar area, then that's not the same. Well,
No.
This is not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
This is like really fresh, college girls, attractive, out having fun. But also, we specifically went up there during the golden hour sunset. And also, so there's little romantic lights. It's quite dark, but it's also beautiful. Like sunsets, we're outside on the roof, like basically like height-wise, probably 8 stories up, because they're big floors, right? So way up in the air, the sky is just painted beautiful right behind us. So it's totally fucking the best sunset we saw in Cebu, right, that night. It was like very good vibe. So I was like, we got to go up there. So we went up, and then I just started talking because I wanted to talk to people. I was just like, hey, I just want to. And the vibe was so good. I was like, oh, this is magical. You just took off to meet that girl. We were like, and it just turned magic right then. We were just like, whoa, this is cool. It was the best scene in the whole summit, like by far. This was, everybody, every girl, as we walked by, like every girl was like, their necks were just craning, looking at us. Like, it was totally different than when you were there, like the night before. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And so when you start talking to the girls, it was like perfect time. So just to guys get the whole thing. He's sitting in Thailand. He's happy where he is. He bought a ticket with his credit card. He went to the airport at some shitty time of day. He waited. He took a flight. He went through a lot of things, bad air, taxis.
No Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no Wi-Fi
No
everywhere.
fucking internet.
So he's in an area. So because he went through hardships, most people won't. So there's much less competition. Basically, there was no guys like us there. We did not see any other guys who were dressed well, in the right mood, good looking. Like we're like, we got our shit together, and we're cruising around Cebu like
And energies combined is exponential.
Yeah,
We're all together.
because we're all together,
Stand
right?
out.
So we were definitely getting looks like constantly,
Oh, yeah, it's on.
and giggles and
Even me and Paul.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
we still get looks.
That's right. And so he, and also you came to the summit. So we were in a group. So we were also, and you guys were trusting me. Like you always kind of at the summit, you're trusting me to kind of take you to the right place, the right time. Sometimes I can't do it. Or I can't quite acquire. It's why isn't it like it was last night? Every night's so different. This night was just money.
The sunset was amazing.
Yeah, it was like, but it made the girls, like every bench had 2 girls on it, waiting to talk to somebody. As I talked to the 2 girls, like I didn't see the whole scene yet, so I started talking to the ugly girls just because I wanted a view. That was where the best view of the sunset was. So I was filming it.
Yeah.
I was taking a bullet for the Ronin guys. I was filming it for the channel, right? And then I said the girls were right there while I was filming, so I started talking to them. You moved on.
I went down to see
And then as I and the girls were like getting my Instagram and sending me messages. These ones that were ugly, and then so I knew as I walked past you, each set of girls wanted to talk to me, but I knew the other girls could see me, so I was kind of feeling bad. So I probably foolishly walked by all these girls because it was like literally magic, perfect time for pickup. Everything was spot on. Everything was just, we did.
You gotta make each bus stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta stop at each.
Sometimes
bus. What's going on?
When I was younger, I was more hard ass like that, but now it's like I'm a little bit more. I don't know. I get weaker or softer. I just kind of like, well, yeah. I'm just like, well, I fucked up. Because these girls, they still send me. These girls still send me messages.
I'm looking for a threesome. The first two girls gave me a pretty good offer, but I'm not totally sold on them. So I'm willing to take more offers for the threesome.
Just let me reach and just measure size of the titties, the waist, 1 centimeter extra. No, So that's so you can get a perspective of how he got in that situation. You had an open mind. You took a risk. And then we kind of went to that same place. It was never that exact moment that it was then, right?
Right. Yeah.
If it was like that,
It sounds like that. I went up there many times. And it sounds like that night was.
it was completely different. Yeah. If it was like that every night, I would go back to Cebu right now. I would.
I get it.
Because it was perfect.
Sign lease right now.
I mean, you just couldn't lose, right?
Yeah.
Just Sweetie Pie's waiting.
Yeah. So the moment was right for that night, that approach.
Yeah.
But definitely the way, like, obviously I'm a little dense, so it takes me time to realize some of this. But the way she was smiling, looking, and it was like, oh, like that's.
They were cute. Both those girls were cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were walking. You finally walked by me, and then you said, "Get her Instagram." You mumbled,
Yeah.
get her Instagram. So, but yeah, she's really sweet, really sweet. But and then the other approach I had that I thought was good was we went to the fort, but then you were saying this is a key theme of the summit was go a little bit beyond where
Right.
everybody goes.
Right.
So then we walked.
That's what pays off.
Yeah, we went to the kind of is like pier or the waterfront, oceanfront.
It was like where the kind of homeless people are, the poorest people, and also it was a mix of normal people checking the sunset.
There was some naked children. They're like people without clothing or.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Those poor people don't have anything.
Yeah, they
fucking don't have anything.
Yeah, it was a little bit, down at the docks type.
Yeah, down to, like that movie On the Waterfront, right? Back in Brooklyn, back in the day, it was like really that area. That's how the Philippines was. It was all like that when I got there in 1990, like in '89. Sorry, it was like that, and so I was used to it. Like just kids running around naked, cruising around, jumping in the garbage. They literally jump in the garbage river. It looks like it's solid, and they come out with garbage on their head, and like big smiles, and like, hey Joe, saying it to me. And I realized like it's crazy. You can be happy in the crazy circumstances. So it was like these were like indigent people.
Yeah.
Just indigent, like no money, like just literally nothing. No shoes, no clothes, no money, just basically the poorest of the poor. And so there was those people, and then there was also some other people that were more normal, like middle class. It was like a mix. It was an interesting like kind of scene down there, right? Yeah, but they were not mall people. No. They weren't the same people that would have been. None of them were the same people that would have been at the magical moment on the mall.
Right. Yeah, but there was I guess there were two girls sitting on the wall with their backs facing us, and I could see one of them had a nice shape. She was wearing a blue shirt. So I was like, oh, like.
I think I told you to go talk to them.
Yeah.
I did. I said go talk to them.
Yeah. I noticed, but then you noticed. But this was harder because I kind of approached her from the side and behind, which is harder. And then her friend was on the other side of her. But this girl was 18, and.
I can show you how to do that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show you how to do it?
Yes.
Okay, so look. So let's do this. You guys stand up. You know, Nicole and you, so you can watch.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are now face this way.
We're two
It's
hot
very
sluts.
simple, and then this is literally gold. So you're behind them, right? And then they're facing the other way. Now it's very difficult, right? How do you talk to them? How do you get them to turn around? So what you do is you touch them like this, and then move them.
Oh.
Now, and I say, hey, what are you guys doing? And I start talking to you guys. Now what happens is, if I say, hey, 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 and start talking to you, you're going to be like trying to talk over you because your girls are talking, right? You're going to think it's not going to be right. And if I come around, if I talk to you on this side, then I'm kind of dissing your friend, right? When I come this way, and I learned this.
Gently touch them.
I actually learned this from a PUA guy. Is what is so magical about this is I'm touching you, even if it's noisy. I'm touching you right on the arm here, and I'm moving both of you at the same time. Now you're both moving towards me. So now keep in mind, like that the PUA that taught me this. This would be he taught me like about a bar move, because bars are noisy. But the magic about it, it's really magic actually, because you know what you're doing. You're touching her on the shoulder, you're moving around.
Yeah.
But what people see, so I'm over here, so I see him go up, you touch him on, you open him up. What I see is that he knows those girls. And those girls like him. Because you both, in unison, turned around and started talking to him. Because you never had anybody kind of open you that way.
Yeah.
And so then everybody in the bar, everybody watching, sometimes people are kind of cock block a little bit, or they're just kind of sensing, are you a cool guy? Like, the reason why it works in a bar so well is because when you do that, everybody in the bar is like, oh, fuck, this guy knows girls here, and they like him. And so then the other girls line up to talk to you. Now, I'm not a bar pickup guy, so I don't take advantage of that. But it is very true. If you go up to two hot girls and they both turn around at the bar and they lean against the bar and start talking to you, the whole bar knows that you are the man.
You're that guy.
Because everybody else is holding a drink, walking around alone,
Yeah.
talking to girls, leaning over his drink, and then you're just like, come around, people turn around. So the next girls are going to turn around way easy, right? Or they'll be like, what is it about this guy?
Social calibration.
Why would those two hot girls like him and know him? Which actually isn't true, but that's what they see.
Yeah.
So so it's actually very effective. Because otherwise you'll find yourself trying to get around them, trying to
Since,
break
like,
in.
Nobody who wouldn't know someone would do that.
Right.
That's like what you do when you know.
They don't even
friends,
see
yeah.
you touch them.
Yeah.
All they see is the girls turning around.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Two hot girls turning around talking to you. Animated voice.
That's pretty.
You're
solid.
high value.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's very solid.
And then they're subconscious. I think this is how girls are. She's standing here talking to her friend. And then, because they don't really kind of get everything that's happening.
No.
It's just emotional.
Yeah.
So you're touching her arm, and then she finds herself turning around, and then her friend also turns around. Because girls are always watching, what is my friend doing?
Mhm.
Does my friend not like these guys? Then they're no good. Because I don't want to look stupid. But if her friend turns around, and then she turns around, they subconsciously think, oh, we both turned around for this guy. He is of proper value. And then they start talking to you like, this is what we're supposed to do. And that's what girls do. So it is very magical. So you could have done that. And then also, you are then, both girls are equally close.
Well, you're talking about these girls that are standing. Your turn.
No, but I'm saying that the girls that were sitting,
You're
Okay.
sitting
you
on
could have done
They
it
were
with
sitting-
them.
Yeah.
And as you touch them, turn them around. And then they would have actually turned and sat the other way.
Oh, okay.
Or like totally turn. Right? And then everybody cock blocks would be like, oh, he knows those girls.
Okay.
I can't stop it. The reason why cock blocks, they come in if they think you're weak. If they think you're trying to hit on the girls. But once they know the girl likes you, cock blocks are afraid to come up. Because they know the girl's going to say, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh. He comes in because he senses, you don't really know them. I can fuck this up.
Able.
Yeah, he's gonna go fuck it up, and then they might like me because I'm cool, right? So it's like that's what you could have done, and that would have been one move a little bit better.
A little.
This is a very good move.
That's yes.
Girls are facing the other way, two hands, and you just literally touch their arms on the side and you open them
Literally.
like a door.
Physically open.
Yep, you physically open, softly and gently, but at the same time, and then they both kind of like, oh, we're now turning around for this guy.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing. These little things, like that was one thing. Very few things I learned from pickup guys. That was one of them. It's really good because I always find myself trying to get around them,
Yeah.
kind of talk to them, kind of like, and then it never kind of was that smooth. Right?
Like the logistics.
No, this is like total magic.
Yeah.
Great move to learn.
So I ended up approaching kind of to the side of the one that I thought was cute, and it turns out she's 18, and I since she started getting nervous because it turns out, as I later learned, I'm like the first foreigner she ever met or ever really talked to.
I was just gonna say that place. That's why I took you guys to different places like that, because I knew these kind of where the real the bulk of Filipinos, they're in these places. They've never talked to a foreigner.
Yeah.
So when you go to the bar area, you're talking to a girl that's talked to 100 a night.
Yeah.
Right. Here you're really in the fucking virgin forest here.
Yes.
They've never talked to a foreigner.
Literal virgin.
So and these are girls that are attractive, and they're not. They had clothes and kind of they were like, they weren't super poor. They were
Style.
much
Middle class.
They were like lower middle class.
Lower middle.
Maybe yeah.
Bad boys.
But they had like they had like just as hot pussies as any other girl. That's the thing you learn is Paris Hilton's pussy is not like way better than the girl you met.
I would wager it's way worse.
Yeah. Well, but I mean originally.
Yeah.
Did you see the original video of her? It's pretty hot. I thought Paris was pretty good.
I never.
When I saw that original, it's pretty good. She's a good girl. Oh yeah, that girl's a good girl. That's why the video got so popular.
Oh, I missed that one, but yeah. So
let's pull it up.
So the 18-year-old, I've been texting her, and she's pretty talkative and talking about traveling and stuff. So, I mean, but yeah, it's definitely me. I'm older, but I like younger girls, so like a lot of guys do. So definitely, there's some for the struggle that it is to get to the Philippines and be there with the air and the third world conditions or the lesser than Thailand conditions. It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth the time and the effort and the energy to get there. If you're going to meet some really really nice girls and real people too, who are not jaded like the people on Sukhumvit here. So, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's worth it. It's like a variety is the spice of life, Like variety. We all had a little variety, right? And what reminded me? You reminded me of like things that I didn't expect. One of them was how many Catholic, like really serious Catholic people, like in Kiwi Lodge, there was a lot of like very Christian families stayed there. I think it was a Christian family that owned it, and they didn't. It was like very serious Christian. You don't see Christians in America. Like you see some like, yeah, you just don't see. Go to the Philippines and you'll see what Christians in America used to look like. Like they're real serious about it. So that was the other thing I was reminded of. Like, and I thought to myself, a good Christian girl could be a good wife too, or a good baby, whatever. Like you'd have to do whatever you had to do. But if you did want kids, a good Christian girl, there's nothing wrong with a real serious girl who's very innocent and she's obviously a virgin.
I want to
and like
add to that because I noticed this as well. There's like a genuine authenticity and a genuine like belief or a genuine appreciation for life and being grateful to to God. My girl.
They pray before they eat.
Yeah.
Fucking every time.
Yeah. And my girl there, every time after she'd eat, she would say, "Thank you, Lord." And I was like, and she said this like really cute way. And I was like, well, what is it? She's like, well, every time I have a full belly, I feel great. I'm just grateful that I'm not hungry. So I say, thank you, Lord. And it's like the purest, simplest, just genuine appreciation and for what they have and that belief. But it's not preachy. It's not fake. It's not showy. I could have not noticed it. There's just something they do. It's just the way they are. And I was like, wow, it's like actually like real here. Like there's like a realness here, if you, especially with the Christian belief, and which is nice. And there's like a sweetness that the people have, and a kindness and openness, which is the way it probably used to be in Christian countries in the past. But if you're honest with yourself, you go around and you talk to a lot of Christians, and at least in the Western America, it's not like that anymore.
It used to be like that in America. Like I remember Christian communities, like definitely that kind of attitude and belief in families where they're always with their dad. They're with their dad, their mom, their sisters, and then right away you'll spot their clothes are different. They wear a certain, you'll get the vibe of the Filipino Christian, like Catholic. They have a different look. And so you don't want to be at the table talking something that's very offensive to Christians when you're sitting next to that family, because you'll start to be embarrassed of yourself for your own vulgarity, because you'll realize, oh, this is not cool here. And also you're in their country, right? That hotel, I was at breakfast, because we had free breakfast, so I'd be down there, and then I realized we got to be careful what we talk about here, because they are very serious people,
Yeah, I noticed.
And I didn't want to, I didn't feel like it felt like being respectful was the best. Better than, I'm just going to do what I'm going to, because I'm not from, or I'm not, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no. These people are serious,
Yeah, I noticed they don't really swear there.
No.
And so, and I actually caught myself kind of feeling a little self-conscious, I was maybe just talk the way I talk. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking great, day. And then they almost look at me like, oh, okay. And then I felt it. I'm like, oh, that was unnecessary. I didn't need to say that, and I caught myself because, and it's probably because I recognized it wasn't necessary, and maybe it was a little more vulgar, but also they weren't talking like that, which kind of when you go to like you were saying earlier, Jay, is you go somewhere and you realize, or Cole was saying, you want to kind of blend in, or you kind of want to fit the culture, you want to learn from that and kind of adopt that and develop that, and there I noticed there's a genuine sweetness and kind of more of a pureness there. Not saying purity per se, but a pureness of just way of being in life, and that I kind of noticed. I'm and it felt good.
And it's not surface. It is. Yeah. I've been there enough to know it's real. Families are really like that. They go to church on Sunday. The Bible in the room. They thank God before they eat, and they go to Rib Shack after church on Sunday. So get a table before church gets out, or you are screwed.
You gotta leave church 10 minutes early to get your table.
I was thinking, if we ever do another Philippine Summit, the next one I would say, if you are a Christian and you're very serious, you would be very smart to, one, come, but also two, you want to integrate in the right way with the Christian community there, so that you are taken in by them, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So I know how to do that. I know how it works. So I'd be happy to kind of get you into the right situations, and then meeting the right people, so that you know how to get into those groups, and they introduce you. Oh, hey, this is John. He's, and then you've got a great situation, because the people there take care of you. They're gonna feed you. They're gonna take you around, and also the girls. They want to have babies when they're 18, 19. They're serious. They are not. This is no exception talking. This is straight up reality. They want to have a baby when they're 18, 19, and they're ready to go. They're ready to go. The latest 21. They want to have a baby and get going. And if you're a Christian guy, this could be a great way to go. Is you got a girl who's more serious Christian than you are, and then a pretty young, innocent, and wants a family, especially if you're going to raise it in the Philippines, raise a family in the Philippines.
And the family's going to support that too more, so
in the community there, and you won't have trouble finding an apartment. You won't have trouble, doing all the things you need to do, because there'll always be people in the community saying, "Hey, don't buy anything. You're a foreigner, it's not going to work out. We'll help you. What do you want?" "Well, I want to get a Toyota, maybe 5 years old, What kind? Okay. We'll ask around." Then they go to a mechanic that's a Christian in the church and say, "Do you know have you seen any that are good, mechanically good inside that you think from a good guy you could?" He says, "Oh yeah, the guy was in here last week. You should call him up." And then you get yourself, you're right in there. making smart moves, which for me I could never do because I don't have a community like that to go into. But the Christians really do, and they're very welcome. They're very open to other Christians in Philippines. So if you are a Christian, it's like huge leg up for the Philippines. Here you're screwed, and in Thailand you're gonna always have difficulty.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
in Philippines is mostly Catholic, right?
Catholic, but
I think there's no Christian as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe,
Sure.
Maybe it's a hybrid or something. I mean, I guess it is a little bit more Catholic, but I think there's a strong. I think there's a strong Christian presence in general.
Right, evangelical.
Yeah, I mean, if
type
you
thing.
love God, basically, if you're that type of person, I
Right.
think you're gonna fit.
And going from, like, say their daughter goes from a Catholic church to a evangelical church, Presbyterian or Baptist or whatever, no one's gonna. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
you
there's
love
no.
so much.
Yeah, you're not breaking any. If you're more comfortable there, they have more events for the kids or whatever. That's the parents. They don't mind.
Yeah, the overwhelming majority is Roman Catholic, like more than 80%.
Right.
Okay, so
But I know that like there's a lot of websites like Christian Singles or whatever, and they were huge in the Philippines. And I know that just because I've met guys who've met that they're really the guys I've met who've met girls in the Philippines there. Like usually they meet through a website, which I don't recommend. I really recommend doing it the way I'm saying. I'm not saying because this is something. I'm saying like you are stupid to meet girls online there, like from overseas. Like come over, get in the community of the place you want to be, meet the heads of the community, the men who run the place, the women who run the place. Let yourself known, and then get introduced to the right people. You are 1 million times better. You're going to get a stable person with no secrets.
right,
And
right.
like you don't know on the line you could get a girl on meth who used to be Catholic, and you just don't know. You're really like putting yourself at risk.
Well, there's always the tranny. There's always the tranny risk also. Like there are so many trannies online, and they can fool some people. But
Yeah, they're pretty smooth. Yeah.
I was getting a little bit irritated with the trannies on the dating apps. So I was
Hey, no,
but
hold on. But without anyone having to announce it, if you are interested in trannies, you gotta know that the Philippine trannies are out of this world.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are everywhere. They're smoking, like
True.
you're like, there's no way this is a tranny. She's too fucking hot. And then you're like, no, I have penis. And you're like, damn it. But if you're actually, or whatever, some of them are post-op, but if you are interested in trying that out or getting or dating him or having one, like there are so many, and they're like way better looking than the ones in Thailand. I would say.
Yeah,
Like,
I
they're
agree.
like petite, tiny little ones. You're just like, there's no way it's got to be a girl. So just good information for everybody.
so
Sure.
seriously, did you?
I haven't road tested them.
No, did
but
you
they're
met them in person, right?
good.
Like two, you met in person.
I may have ran into one or two,
Okay.
but
They're actually petite and small and not like tall.
I think it just depends,
Okay.
But
No,
I'm just
I
saying,
saw some I couldn't tell, and
Yeah,
then I
okay.
realized they probably are.
yeah,
Okay.
they're just saying
Yeah.
like obviously Thailand has as well, but we make a lot of jokes about it, but some guys want to try that and they're into it, and it's just like good to know like there are actually like
There's a top tier
smoking
of the
hot
Yeah,
tranny
yeah.
ones, yeah,
Yeah.
and
I think you're talking prime rib tranny.
yeah, private tranny, and they want to get railed.
That's what you're after going to.
No, hold on, this is important though. And they want to get railed by you. So
Oh, yeah,
if
true.
you're looking for that, that is another thing. You have both, right? You have the really sweet, good Christian girls and good girls, and then you have just the smoking down and dirty little trannies that whatever you want, you can have it, and you just you take the pros with the cons, and
We
you
don't
choose,
judge. We don't
you choose adventure.
A lot of guys, I don't judge.
Those with the dogs.
Yeah, I've seen so many guys come over here, and you never. I don't judge. As long as you live in Asia, you just don't care. It's like, whatever guys do, it's like doesn't matter at all. This is just afterwards you go get a coffee,
The locals don't care.
go
so why should
rock
we?
climbing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're not talking about the 6'3" bearded, call me ma'am trannies that we have in America, which don't even look like girls. We're talking like ones that you literally wouldn't be able to tell, you know. So
This is strict.
Sir, you are not a woman.
This is strictly for informational purposes only. We're
You are
just
mentally ill.
educational, entertainment purposes only. Yeah, I am not a dating advisor.
No, but I think I think the guys back home, like, if you just mention, what's going on, people just, they get so uncomfortable. They're like, oh, he must have this. It's like, no. Actually, if you were boning trannies, you probably wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guys I've met, they're very secretive about it. The guys who talk about it, they're the guys who actually aren't boning trannies, in my experience. Seriously.
Yeah.
The guys who disappear for 3 days, for no excuse, no, where'd you go? And all these confusing.
Oh, hey guys, I had a lot of work all day long and all
I
night.
was, I was there, you never see me. No, I
Didn't get your messages, huh?
I didn't. Yeah, right. The internet wasn't.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's really good to know what's going on, and this is the point.
Hey, whatever. We don't
Yeah.
care.
It's the point of traveling and coming to summits and hanging with the guys and exploring new places and going out of your comfort zone is see the world for what it is, see what's going on, and find the absolute best you can get, the best you can experience, whatever that is, whatever you're looking for. And you're only going to find that if you get out of your comfort zone, if you get out of your home and you go explore and you go see new places and put yourself in unusual places. And that's one of the benefits of being with the guys like this or with Ronin is like, he's going to we're going to go to this place. And you're like, oh, what the fuck is over there? He's like, oh, I'm telling you guys, I got to check it out. I heard something, or I have a feeling. And you go check it out and then there's something going on. And you see things and you learn things and you get to experience things that you just normally wouldn't run into.
Yeah, it's hard to put those things together, because no one else you got to kind of that maybe this is a good place, like maybe, you know what I mean. You got to kind of spot it, Trust yourself too,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely getting your feet on the ground is way more valuable than just looking at it online or watching YouTube video or hearing about it or trying to meet a girl online, trying to meet a tranny online.
Mail order fucking bullshit.
Mail order bride is
Boots
just.
on the ground. And I definitely get to the Philippines first before you even start looking at the catalog.
Yeah.
Don't start talking, because the best girls are going to be the ones. I haven't done online, but what I've heard is the best situation is if you meet someone online and you say, hey, I'm already here, or I'm staying here, I'm going to be here for a while, and then it gets real quick. And it'll weed out some of the scammers because you can line them up and you can be like, oh, I can meet you here, I can go on a date tonight, whatever. But if you're in a distance and you're trying to line them up, that's where it's tons of scams. And you're not even going to meet the best ones either. But I think the Ronin way, meeting them up close and personal, that's the best.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many advantages because one advantage is so simple, but logistics are everything when it comes to, chicks, logistics. So, if you go to, it's so simple, but say you're in X spot and then you go to B spot and you like to go to B spot because there's food there and it's convenient to get there and you use the gym there and blah, blah, blah. And then you go to B spot and you meet somebody. And then when you talk to her, you're like, where do you want to meet? They're not going to want to meet an hour out of town because they'll be like, oh, let's meet over at some place, you don't want to be traveling all over the city in taxis to get to some retarded place in Chiang Mai to meet a girl. It's like, no, you want a girl that's easy to meet and she likes to be where you like to be. Otherwise, if you meet a girl an hour out of Bangkok or up in Chiang Mai, she's not even going to want to come down here. So when you date her, she's not going to want to come down. She might for you, but she won't be happy. Whereas if you meet a girl who's happy and she likes the same things you like, and the areas are very different, right? So one area is, this kind of area. The other is that kind of. If you guys like the same area, things just work out. She can fuck you easier because there's time to get to your house and time to get back. And also the restaurants are going to be, you know what I mean? fucking online, Philippines, man. Where the fuck is she?
Yeah.
And what is her real life? She could have 2 ex-husbands and 6 abortions on a fucking Catholic site, right?
Yeah. Kids that they don't tell you about.
Yeah. And when I say abortion, I mean coat hanger in the cemetery.
Oh.
That's what they do.
Well, that's
And
it.
yeah, that's reality. And the coat hanger really fucks them up too.
Yeah.
So the likelihood they can have another kid, healthy kid, become very low after 3 of those coat hangers. Yeah, so it's true. You need to know. You need to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Travel everywhere, Fucking, why not anyway, right? It's fucking fun anyway. But, yeah. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Cole's on?
Cool. You're,
Earth, Grizzler? Grizz?
we're at 2 hours. 2 hours
All
now.
I'm
So.
going to say is, because this video's gone pretty long, and I think it's been really fun to hear your guys' perspective. It's Ronin, man, you were here a long time ago, and you've been here other times, so you're OG on this. But some of the guys that haven't been here so much, I know Fox has been here before, but you're picking up on a lot of things I've noticed, even other things that I, maybe didn't experience, but just, I would tell the listener, it's all true what these guys are saying. I mean, and then some. Your mind will be blown. And I will just say that from my experience, I'll caution you to slow down a little bit. The siren song is very strong here. Mm-hmm. If you are used to these old hags, these Western bitches, these feminists, weaponized against men, and then you come here, you're going to meet a totally different breed. You're going to meet nice girls for the first time, and for a lot of guys maybe. And it's very disarming, and you're not going to be used to it. You're not going to be used to being the commodity yourself. You're the guy that's in demand. And it's really overwhelming. And so I would definitely slow down, pump the brakes, take your time. If you think this is the best ever, there might be something right around the corner that's even better. So you just cannot prepare yourself enough. I mean, so take your time. That's all I'm going to say, because there are a lot of cutie pies here.
Yeah, and also you live in the Philippines, so the guys don't know that. So you live in the Philippines. How
3
long?
years now.
How 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what would you? You were kind of telling them like slow down and like that. Any other like basic things you've learned about? Yeah,
I'll say one thing. It's real key. I think it's a great thing to kind of travel around the Philippines before you even settle on a girl. Figure out what towns you like, what cities you like, what vibe you like. Because like what you were talking about before, Ronin, logistics are a big deal, and lifestyle's a big deal. You might want to figure out what kind of lifestyle you want, what kind of vibe you want, where you want to be, because it's really easy to get nailed down. It's really easy to meet a gal, and then you get into that community and everything, and you get integrated, and then you can plant roots incredibly fast here, because the girls they are very family oriented, and they will snag you up quicker than you can imagine. And if you're a good guy in shape and you got stuff going on, you're going to be in very high demand. But yeah, I recommend looking around, because there is a lot of variety here. You may like beaches, you may like more diving, you may like more mountainous regions or jungle. You may more like city better, or more of a country life or province life. You don't know, but I definitely recommend doing a walkabout before you even make a decision about where you want to live, for sure.
I would even go farther to say, really spend a year at these different, places before you decide, because I think most guys, when they come to Asia, most people are not from New York City, right? They're not from London. So they get here and their first thought is, I'm not a big city guy. I'm not comfortable in a big city. So they say that like cities are like bad places. And, in Asia, most people are if they're long-term in Asia, they're going to prefer a city to being in the countryside.
The cute girls are working at the offices in the city.
Well, it's like there's a lot of issues. There's sometimes security issues of being alone. There can be a violent attack in the countryside, where in the city here you tend to be more surrounded by people. When you're alone, like shit can go, like you can get into kind of a feud with somebody in your city who's connected, and then things can turn pretty bad. Like it's the dynamic of the countryside. And I would say the same thing about the U.S. A lot of people think like it's going to be so nice. Country people are so nice. And they find like a lot of backbiting, a lot of discrimination, a lot of getting fucked over, a lot of gossip. Everyone knows your stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody brands you as a certain way. And they don't, they consider you.
You have a lot more anonymity in a city, and you have more flexibility in a city. You don't get pigeonholed as quickly, and it is safer. You've got a lot more options, as better infrastructure, and then healthcare, all those sorts of things. It's really good to start out in a city, I think, at the beginning.
Well, even simple things like, for example, in the U.S., if you move to a small town and you're a guy and you don't have a truck, let's say you have a Prius. Now, in Southern California, a Prius is a nice car. It fits a 7-foot surfboard. It gets great gas mileage. You can sleep in it. So you can go to Mexico, sleep in the car, leave the air conditioner on, surf, put your board in the car, go eat. Like a Prius is a practical car in Southern California. There's no real, there's really no political side to a Prius. But there's other cities in the U.S. where if you're driving a Prius, you're definitely from one party. You're Biden. You're
flaming.
Yeah, you're or if you have an electric car, you're some kind of like retard or whatever. Like if you have a big truck, then you're like a great guy, normal guy. Like I didn't grow up in that kind of place. So, but there's a lot of fucking places in America. If you don't have a truck, you are fucked. Like really, you don't have a truck, you are out. The girls, they want to be in a truck. Like I was in the South, and we didn't have a truck, and the girls were like, "We want to be in a truck," And now the girls were very friendly. Don't get me wrong. I found them to love California guys, so I had very good experiences. But I also noticed there was quite a few girls who they were kind of like, no truck. You got to be some kind of homo. Like where's your fucking truck? Like I want to be in a big truck. And these were girls that were hot, that I would love to be with. And they were just like, I want to be in a big old fucking four-wheeler. And I didn't grow up in Southern California. That's never going to happen. Like you're never going to meet that. So in the Philippines, it's even more so, how things are in different places. So you got to know like that in the cities, one, there's a lot better food. Two, there's a lot better hospitals. Three, you can get home easier. If you want to fly back to LA or whatever, it's super easy, right? When you're in a fucking place like we tried to go to, your island, and then the boats were not running, right? The Coast Guard closed the boats. And if you had a stroke when you couldn't ride the boat, that is either going to kill you or cause the stroke to be 10 times worse. Because there's no way for you to get from your island. The Coast Guard has no exceptions. There's no exceptions. And so there's a lot of things to think about. And the other thing I noticed, a lot of guys, when they get to Philippines in particular, they think, well, I'll go to the city and then I'll meet a girl and then I'll take her to the countryside. And, the girl's going to be like me. Oh, we could live here. We could live there. No. A girl from the province, she's a province girl. She's still there. She's still there. If she's a province girl who moved to Cebu, that's different. But a girl in the provinces, you take her to the big cities, you don't know what you got on your hands. She's probably going to be a totally different person. You want to go where she's comfortable. And then if you're comfortable there, you stay there with her. And you're much better, safer. That's why you want to go to different places, because you want to find out where you're comfortable. She's got her family. She's got her support system.
That's very true. Like the girl that I have, she is a city girl, and she gets really bored on the island. And so it's healthy. I let her be with her family and friends a lot over there in the city. She just misses it a lot. The city girls, they're going to be like, what the hell is there to do around here? Like, they like the noise, they like the traffic, they like the vibe, they like the excitement. So that's very true.
Yeah. So,
or if you meet an island girl on the island who just wants to swim every day and go surfing and collect seashells, she's going to be totally stoked to live that life. You know, she might be happy in the city, but
Right.
she's going to be happier there, you know, because that's like where she lives.
The Filipinos are pretty adaptable, and they appreciate a lot of stuff. They're not, they're something else. So, it's...
I know what you're saying, and you got a girl who was able to do it. But I would say if a guy had a blank slate and was going to the Philippines, you are wise not to require her to have a special skill to be with you. I would say you're better off just going to a place where she's comfortable. And travel, like you said, traveling around, seeing a lot, because they are, and Thailand too, the girls are very tied to their families. So it's not just the city life, country life. It's Uncle John, Uncle whatever, and Uncle Somchai and everything, and everybody's everybody's there. Everybody's like, when she leaves, she's very sad and lonely and depressed. I know a lot of Japanese girls become depressed when they move to America, and they become life. It's very difficult for them. They get sick, and they just only have the kids and you, and it can be quite overwhelming to have a Japanese wife in America who is not the adaptable type. She's a good wife. She's going to stay with you, but her eyes glaze over and she's sad. She's not the same spunky Tokyo girl, because when it's the opposite with Japan. So when a Tokyo girl comes to LA, it's like going to the countryside compared to Tokyo. Tokyo is the big city, and New York, LA is not, in comparison. So for her, it's a step down. It's a smaller, quieter, more podunk town. Yeah, she's used to like fucking five. Let's put it this way. The best way I can explain Tokyo is I was going to the gym and walked into the gym. You know the gym I go to in Japan, like the one in Tokyo.
By the park?
By the park, yeah. So when you get out of the station, you kind of go across that concrete, and then you go down into the gym. Well, I walked over there and down into it, worked out, came back. When I came back, there was an air balloon, hot air balloon, with flames. Like they had the flaming thing underneath it, and like the thing was roped down on the ground, and there was tons of people around, and there was press, and there was a whole event. I had literally I walked by like fires burning and flames flying. I didn't even notice it, because Tokyo, there's so much going on. You don't even notice a concert or a bunch of flames and a hot air balloon in your sidewalk. You just walk around it, because it's become so normal. Like there's always some big event going on. There's always some huge marketing thing. There's some guys parachuting out of it next to your lands, and there's like a huge event. There's like, the whole building. The fireworks, the whole building has, flames coming up of it and lights on it, and a huge concert. We sit down and just look at a building. It's like a free concert in Shinjuku, right? On the government building. Do you guys see that? Were you with me? No. Oh, there was this huge event at the Tokyo government building once. It was amazing. It was free. It was just put on by the government. I was just walking by. I walked by 100 times. There's like millions of people there. I was like, why are these people here? I better sit down with these guys. And then all of a sudden the lights went down, and then all of a sudden the thing went off, and it was
Konnichiwa, South Park,
it was amazing. Like Tokyo just has so much happening that you don't even notice, like
So much energy.
something that you would totally notice in LA. Like it's like such a big deal if something's going on, Oh my God, something's going on, go down there. It's like Tokyo. Every station there's something going on. So the thing is, a girl from Tokyo, it's very difficult stay in Tokyo with a girl from Tokyo is better. You try to take her to Shimoda, no.
Even a different area of Tokyo.
Yeah, no.
She might not be.
It's going to be difficult. Yeah. Yeah, you're better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like girls that are happy. I do. I don't want to take a girl and then not even her fault, she gets depressed because she doesn't know she's going to change. For me, I know myself, so I know I can adapt kind of anywhere. So, and I feel the place. I'm like, yeah, I could do this place for quite a long time. Okay. But they don't know. They never did it before. They're just, I'm in love with you. Let's go. And then they're depressed. And you're like, oh no. Like the flower is like wilted. And she doesn't know why she's trying so hard. And you're like, oh God, this. And then you're like, we can't just move back now. We sold the house. We fucking, And then it's really difficult trying to get her to, like she might even be depressed the rest of her life. You don't fucking know, right? Probably she will adapt eventually, find one other Japanese friend. But even then, she's very limited by that one friend. If that friend moves away, it can be really traumatic for a Japanese girl. I got another friend with a Japanese wife in Vancouver Island. Ooh, she has a hard time. She's a super sweet girl. She's been there now for 30 years, but definitely not easy. I visited them. It's not easy for her because she goes to these shitty Japanese restaurants and like the only Japanese friend she's like, there's like one other Japanese girl she hangs out with. And then there's the guy at the sushi shop. Of course, she knows him. And then the little Japanese market, she knows them, But she's quite a vibrant girl, right, from Tokyo. So it's like all these things need to be thought about. You really got, as a mature man, you're the captain. You got to know these things. You're steering the ship. So we talked about some other heavy stuff. You're the captain. You have to have the wisdom. And the wisdom comes from knowledge. So you got to know these things before you drag the girl along. And then she quits her job, she leaves her family, and then you break up. To you, it's just a breakup. For her, she's totally ruined. She doesn't have a place back home. She doesn't have a job, and they can't get another job sometimes. Japanese girls, they get a job after college, and then they quit that job. They're gonna go back for part-time work, which is $10 an hour, $8 an hour. From a real job with a, retirement, and health insurance, and security, and career. Now she's like permanently poor. Disabled. Yeah, disabled. So you got to don't just tell an Asian girl to quit her job so easy. Don't do that. Don't do that. Talk to me. Definitely think about asking her to make changes before, because what is small to you and easy to fix, to her could be very permanent without her even knowing. You're the one who has to know what you're asking, the consequences of these things, right? So, hey, that was great, man. Yeah. And anybody want to add anything, or that was, I think we learned a lot at this summit, and I learned a lot. And listening to you guys was great.
Yeah, we all learned a lot from this one.
Yeah, but not what we thought we were going to learn. It was very different than what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, I know myself a little better too, and I have more appreciation for Thailand too.
Yeah. That was another great thing. It's like the Philippines is awesome. The girls are great there. But when we came back to Thailand, it's like, oh, I literally thought I'm up in Hue Quang, which is not like, it's not like a fancy area. There's no big buildings there. And I'm just like walking along just the quiet streets and the little 7-Elevens. It's like, man, I wish Cebu felt like this. I wish the Philippines was just like this. Not even the big fancy places, but just this regular, clean, nice ice streets. Like the weather, the lighting here, the way the sunlight is hitting right now this time of year, and the way, just convenience and everything. And it's just so nice. And so I have a deeper appreciation for Thailand and for Bangkok. So, it's like almost like the more you travel, the more then you come back to Bangkok, and we're like, this is a really great fucking city. Like, it just is. Like, it's got a little bit of everything. Like, not everything's going to be the best, but you get a lot of the best things. Kind of a nice mix.
Thailand's a perfect blend of the West and the East. They have nailed it.
Okay.
And for
a lot of
single
people would
Western
agree with
guy,
that. Yeah.
It's paradise.
Okay. I learned something at this summit now that I think about it. And that was, we're all different personalities, everybody that went, right? And Fox is very outgoing. and you can sing and dance. And so you are always, when people like, they'll come up to you, hey Joe, hey Joe. In Thailand, people don't really talk to you.
Yeah.
You're just on your own, kind of going around.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Philippines, they
Absolutely.
constantly reach out.
Seek you out.
And if you are a reclusive introvert, the Filipinos are not going to like you, is my take. Now, I know there's exceptions, but this is pretty fucking true. And if you're an extrovert, someone yells at you, hey, come over here, and then you go over there and change all your plans for the day, have a barbecue with them, and end up hanging out with them,
They'll
get
pull
their
you right in
number,
their parties.
singing karaoke with them, and doing whatever they're doing.
I got pulled into a 39-year anniversary high school reunion. A bunch of guys who grew up together since first grade. It was a 39-year reunion, and they pulled me in. It was right outside our hotel in Dumaguete, and they pulled me right in, and they gave me Red Horse. The next thing I know, I'm singing country karaoke with them, and they're teaching me hilarious inside jokes about if you're boning chicks and stuff, and laughing, and it was awesome. And just you get those experiences there if you're open to it.
Yeah, and I think that I would say it's more a personality type.
Yeah.
Let's say the personality type that is more open. If you get tired of everybody talking to you all the time, and always like in your business and coming up to you and expecting you to answer them and to talk to them, if that doesn't make you happy, in the Philippines, it's going to piss you off because it's relentless.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, every kid, every adult, every old man, and they're going to talk to you like you're going to be excited to talk to them. Hey, Joe, and then if you're the kind of guy who's like, I'm not Joe, I'm French, or something like, if you're the type I'm not a good singer, right? So I don't sing, and that's always been a little sore point in Asia, is because they always want me to sing. Now I have sung before, and I do. If it's
Because you look like you can
if
sing.
it's do or die, I'll get out there and karaoke.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing, and it's always been a little sore spot because, karaoke is one of these things everybody does.
Yeah.
And if you're good at karaoke, and if you're outgoing, and I would say also if you're a Christian, these things you'd really enjoy it. Everybody will enjoy it.
That's very true. That's very true, Ronin, man. And that's why when I got here, I just absolutely fell in love. So,
Right.
People, all the, like right at the beginning, I remember when I met my girlfriend, and she had me meet her family. It was like a month after I'd been with her, which is too soon for most guys. I'd recommend taking your time, but I met her family like a month in, and of course they want to do karaoke. And I said, well, do you sing? Do you want to do some karaoke? And I said, sure, I'll do a song. And afterwards, I did the song Beautiful Day by U2. And her little sister looks at me and she says, you're in.
Wow.
So it was like, bam, like that. It's huge. I mean, if you love the culture here, if you like to sing, and there's a lot of musical talent, if you can vibe with it, it's good attitudes mostly. So if you get out of yourself, you have a good attitude, you want to immerse yourself in it, sing along, and especially like if you like the Christian culture, you could fall in love with this place, like I did.
Yeah, and like for me, when I do sing karaoke, and it's terrible, and as long as I just don't have any concern in the world, just singing loud, just doing it, then like I noticed in a group, right, like after me, it would be like half an hour later, they'll say, oh, you haven't sang yet, and then somebody will say, oh, I'm not a good singer, and they would go, well, he sang, so you got to sing. So and so it's like you don't have to be a good singer even. You just have to be
100% true.
You gotta-
100% true.
Yeah.
You just participating is half of it. Just participating.
You have to do it. Yeah.
It is actually speaking of rituals. Karaoke is a ritual in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Every event, every party, every holiday, you're bound for sure. Somebody's going to be singing some karaoke, and you're going to have to get used to it. But
Yeah.
you will have a choice of what songs you like, but participating with that, and it's all about good feelings. And a lot of the loud noises that you hear, the music and the vibe and everything, is kind of, they believe it chases the evil spirits away. But, you just may find if you come to the Philippines, it might help chase some of your own evil spirits away.
Nice. Okay, we'll end it on that. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming, and thanks for participating. So let's see here. Anything else to say? Not much to say. I guess make a couple announcements. The Austin Summit, guys are getting fired up. April 3rd, 4th, 5th. For guys that want to do a road trip and are willing to pitch in on a rental car, we're going to go from LAX probably on the 29th. We'll leave on the 29th. We're going to take a nice slow trip to Arizona, check out sunsets. It's going to be epic. It will be. I grew up in Arizona. I know Arizona. You guys are going to see some killer shit. Eventually, we'll do an Arizona summit sometime, but I just kind of want to show you guys the magic of the desert. And it is Arizona. It's not New Mexico, fucking Nevada. It's Arizona. Arizona is absolutely gorgeous. And we'll do some hikes on the way. And then summit, we're going to be there 3rd, 4th, 5th. You can come 2 days early, leave 2 days late. We got 2 houses, barbecue, jacuzzi, sauna, trampoline, motorcycles, AR-15s. It's going to be fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's the Ronin Unchained.
Unchained.
So we got, sounds like we're going to get some land where we can shoot guns freely. And we're going to have the AR-15s. Now, of course, we're not going to want somebody who's just being an idiot. You got to be, wise with guns and know how to respect guns and all that. But the guys can teach all that. And if you have an open mind, want to learn about weapons, it's a perfect chance. I've never been a big gun guy, but I got to say, you guys are kind of winning me over because I've always been kind of anti. I love to go into a fight with no weapon. Like empty hand. Mm-hmm. Karate. Kara is empty, hand is te, right? I've always just liked that, just to be myself, because I never know when I'm going to have some or not. I want to be able to take care of myself with myself. And I've always thought that's the ultimate. But I got to say, enough Ronin guys have been into guns that I'm kind of like...
But if the other guys have guns, karate, it may be not as good as the other guys. I've had plenty of guns pulled on me. No, really, even with guns.
Oh, okay.
No, even with guns. Because I've always thought I could take one bullet. So I always figure if he gets me once, I'm going to get the guy and kill him, with my hands. I'm just going to keep running at him. I'm going to fucking kill the guy. If he pulls a gun on me, no mercy on him. That's always been my mindset. And so that's the way I thought about it. But now I can kind of see the enjoyment of guns. And I want to go and learn more about, how to clean them, how to respect them and use them. And I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to learn. I've never been open to learning about guns. So if anybody's good with guns...
Especially, have you ever gone hunting? Like, really?
Not hunting, no.
Okay. So that's like probably one of the really coolest things, other than just the craftsmanship and the target practice with the guns. But if you actually do go hunting, like you say deer hunting specifically, there's something about that's like almost, it sounds weird to say, but it's almost like sacred, like an experience that if you you really understand it and you learn it and you learn how to track them and you go with like a experienced guy, that's really cool. That's a totally different thing. And then eating, you do it to eat it and to experience that, not for sport, but
right.
But then you're actually gonna eat it and you drag that thing and you clean it. There's something about that that's very primal.
Never hunted.
It's very
never
good
hunted. Yeah, I would love to try.
Yeah.
So that would be a good. That'd be really cool.
And that's a good reason to learn how to properly use and handle and rifles and stuff. Because ultimately it makes you it's like that extra skill as a man, that we had for thousands of years as growing up in the jungles and the woods and stuff. That's what you did. You grow up, you learn how to hunt and how to eat, and like that was part of the ritual, the rite of passage as a man, right? So it's a very, very good thing.
If a guy is listening to this and you're from a hunting area, you could contact and say, hey, look, I'd like to do a summit, like a hunting summit at some point, where we could all go and learn and enjoy. And I'll give you an idea just so you guys kind of know where I'm coming from. So I've never liked guns, but I had a Japanese friend, and we would rock climb. We'd go rock climbing. And this guy was amazing. His hand was so fast that we could sit by a river. We'd go camping and hiking, climbing. And he could sit with his arm in the air, wait for a fish to come in the river. And his hand was so fast, he would scoop the fish out of the river into the bushes, and then we would cook it.
Whoa.
So he would fish with his hand,
No way.
just standing there looking at the fish, could see him and everything, but he would not move, and he would just wait, and he would just like, and sure enough, he would do it every time. He did it every time, and he'd get as many as we needed. It just take him like 15, 20 minutes to get the fish. They would eventually wander down, because he wouldn't move at all. They would kind of slow down and cruise, and that's all he needed is that little pause. Bam! He'd slap the fish out of the water. He wouldn't grab it because that's insane speed, but he would slap it out of the river. And then once you slap it, doesn't matter how hard you slap it, anywhere out of the water, he's not going to get away. So that, you know what I mean? Like, there's just a little creek, right? Mm-hmm. And then he would just get the thing out.
Damn.
And then we cook that one and he'd wait for another one. Another one. And we could have dinner. We didn't need to bring meat. So I've always liked this type of way. So the American gun and like needing that extra power, you know, that thing outside of yourself. I've always been into that. I've always respected the guy with the hand because I thought that's such a great skill. Because then you don't even need anything. And you can fucking eat that fish sashimi, you know. You know, you can eat, you know. Yeah, you don't even need no fuck all, you know. And so that has always been my thing. But now I realize, okay, my thinking, okay, fine. But I can learn the hunting thing. So I'm totally open to teach Ronin hunting kind of thing. You know, so we go out and do stuff and learn guns.
Karate.
Yeah. And also how to skin it and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to, you know.
Yeah, I learned, I've only done it a couple times, but I learned from a good friend of mine who's a lifelong hunter, grew up, you know, it's kind of like like I said, like a rite of passage, and everyone does it basically just like having a truck in the Midwest, you know, the Ozarks. And so there's a guy listening who like is a really solid hunter, grew up doing it, loves doing it, knows how to do it, knows how to teach as well, because that's the thing. That would be really cool, because we could all learn from that. And especially if you grew up in the city, you just didn't get those experiences. You just don't know, you know, because that's very much a countryside thing.
Right.
You know, so that is very cool to learn that for sure, and to have that experience where you do the hunt and you get the kill and then you eat it and you do the whole thing. It's an incredible experience.
Right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.